Ready, Jay?
Yep.
Three.
Welcome back, GhettoRig episode number 46. We're doing the whole team meeting as per usual, but today we got a topic for you guys, and if you wanna hop in the chat, we'll appreciate that. So as you can see with the title, it's the conspiracy edition. So we're gonna talk some conspiracies, whether it's governmental conspiracies and things like that, and then we would love to hear from you
Yeah, I
guys.
want to get conspiracy topics from you guys at home. Let us know what your guys' favorite conspiracy, like whether it's current, old one. Give us it all. Even if it's been debunked already, like something that you thought was interesting in the moment. Just let us know.
And we'll definitely talk about that for sure.
So the first one, I think the big one, because we all watched, or at least attempted to watch, I guess is the best way to say it.
Yeah.
A podcast that Jay had us look at by, it was a PBD, Patrick Bet David podcast with Whitney Webb, right? Whitney Webb?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
So she's just a
Go
little
ahead,
background on her. She's an investigative journalist, right? So basically, what she does, she basically investigates as a journalist. And to give a little bit more background, she's an American that lives in South America, right? She didn't really mention where necessarily she lives, but quick Google search, you'll find out where she lives now.
like PBD said, she talks a lot of shit about the people, not shit, but she brings a lot of light to things that the people in power here don't want necessarily light to be shed on. So she tries to stay out of the
Yeah.
American soil.
Yeah. So
apparently.
the topic of the podcast that they had was kind of circled around Epstein and Epstein's Islands, and specifically Epstein's notebook,
The
right?
people involved with him,
Yeah, and things like that. So, and on top of that, she's an investigative journalist. She just released her second book. It's called, first one was called One Nation Under Blackmail, Volume 1, and now it's the One Nation Under Blackmail, Volume 2. So I've started listening to Volume 1, and as you guys know, I listen to my books at 2 speed. With her book, I had to fucking slow it down to 1 speed because I'm like, what did you just say? Who was working where?
Yeah, she's
how? So this girl
connections
basically
all over
connects
there.
the dots, and on top of that, she has informants and things like that she doesn't reveal her sources, so on and so forth, right? So with that being said, in the recent elections and people talking about elections being stolen and things like that, so there's a lot of conspiracy floating around out there, right? And number one, I want to talk about the Epstein and kind of hear from you guys what you guys think could have happened with Epstein. Anyone just hop in.
This is something that a lot of people have heard about, but for those at home that hear that name Epstein and have no idea what the fuck you're talking about, shed a little light on that.
Okay.
Just because
So-
maybe not everybody's watched that PVD podcast or
Yeah. So
has
just the
Epstein in
base-
their algorithm.
Yeah, basic idea about the Epstein. Epstein was caught because he had this private island, and on this private island, he had underage girls. Basically, it was a trafficking of underage girls for favors to very powerful people. For y'all know what I'm talking about. I don't need to go into much details. So they basically caught him, indicted him, and put him in jail. And then in jail, he ends up committing a suicide. His assistant, I always mess up her name. Alex, what's the full name? Ghislaine.
Gwendolyn Maxwell.
Yeah, there you go. His assistant is in jail, and she was a key person in basically getting more information out and locking him up. But there is this thing that resurfaced, and that was Epstein's notebook. And Epstein's notebook had a lot of names in it, a lot of powerful names dating back into the history of United States, right? And for whatever reason, there's the suicide. There's a conspiracy that it wasn't necessarily. A lot of people think that wasn't a suicide, but it was more of a manufactured thing. They killed him because of the information he might have had or possessed on some of the very powerful people. And if he did commit a suicide, it is what it is. This was one way for him to repent, right? But the notebook surfaced and it disappeared.
Wait for him to repent.
Well, I mean, if he
Oh,
couldn't
okay.
handle the pressure, and then it all kind of came back to him, it's like, all right, I'm just gonna self-delete.
I mean,
right?
it kind of makes sense in the sense that if he's probably sitting there going, well, they've opened my closet that has skeletons of a lot of powerful people, so I'm probably dead anyways.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. That's probably what was going through his mind if it was a legit suicide, which I know there's a lot of talk on whether it was legit or not or manufactured by those people in power.
Even if it wasn't leaked to like the child predatory shit, he was in like his hands was in pockets of financial people all over the place doing shady shit.
So now
and getting blackmail.
Yes.
On everything.
So just to give you a little bit of light, now this is coming from the book that I started listening to, and this girl's book. From what I understood from the book, I'm still not finished the full book, right? So what I'm understanding from the book, in my opinion, this is who Epstein was. Now, I could be wrong, could be right. He was a man that had a lot of connections, and he knew people, and he was really good with finances, in a sense that he was really good at hiding money for different people. So if you were a rich person and you needed to hide the money correctly, you went to Epstein. If you needed, in my opinion, again, this could be wrong. If you needed some connections, you needed something get done, you went to Epstein. Hey, Epstein, I need this get done. Who do I talk to? And he'll be pulling strings and doing this. In addition to that, the blackmail stuff. So the blackmail has been big, I think, in United States since day one. Ex-heads of CIA that were homosexual, that would, invite a bunch of other people that knew they were homosexual, load up a bunch of young male prostitutes into the house, invite them over, and they take a bunch of pictures and things like that, and then do the blackmail, right, to get things done. So he had his hands in a bunch of cookie jars, right? And I think with him having his hands in a bunch of cookie jars, being able to connect the dots when somebody needed something, I think this is who he was. Now, I could be wrong. Your opinions, guys.
I don't know. I think that they kind of just like, for example, the biggest thing I got from this pod, right, that I listened to with PBD and Webb, was that every time Patrick Bet David would try to bring up kind of someone's like.
Yeah, because he talked about Khashoggi.
And trying to beg for a certain person's innocence, in a sense, like trying to point out, like, hey, but it wasn't really like this. She would still come out and be like, well, they still did this too.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, or she had dirt on any name that was said during that podcast.
So I think he shut her down there for a minute when she was talking about Khashoggi, and he's like, no, like, wait a minute, I'm the reason. Khashoggi's the reason I'm here.
Yeah.
And she kind of like zipped it. Like, she didn't go any further. But in her book...
I feel like she probably just didn't want to press him on his own podcast kind of thing.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, who's going to probably have the more correct, like, facts when it comes to that situation? You're probably going to go with her, right?
Yes.
At the end of the day. So I'm sure she just didn't want to, like... He came out and said, hey, that's the person that made me kind of thing, so stop. Well, she respected that. And
Khashoggi passed some sort of laws that brought his family over, right? Basically, that's what he was saying.
I think it was in the
Khashoggi was that one reporter, right?
Yes. Huh?
Khashoggi was that one reporter, right? That got killed in Saudi Arabia?
Khashoggi was a influential person in Middle East. Super influential. I think he's like a president or something like that. He occupied very influential positions in Middle East, right? And in her book, she outlines that how Khashoggi is connected. Who is connected to? So Khashoggi basically worked with CIA. Khashoggi worked with drug dealers. Khashoggi worked with a bunch of people. In a sense, when I say worked, it doesn't mean that Khashoggi himself was a drug dealer, but he also was able to connect dots.
He helped felicitate, in a sense, kind of like, if you needed help with this thing, you need help with that thing.
Yes.
Surely,
so a lot of
and influential stuff.
Yeah, a lot of her book begins with a lot of like going back to 1800s and like, dealing with mafia and criminal world, and how criminal world was able to wash their money through legal system.
Question. I looked up Khashoggi, and are we talking about Jamal Khashoggi? This guy?
Yes.
So that guy did get assassinated.
Okay, well, there you go.
He was the one reporter who was assassanated in Istanbul, Turkey.
Well, look up another one. See if there's another one. So not.
I think you mean Kissinger.
Kissinger? No. I thought
there's also Adnan Khashoggi.
Adnan Khashoggi, that's the one.
Who also died in June 6, 2017.
Adnan Khashoggi, that's the one.
But so it doesn't say he was assassinated per se.
Yeah. So this goes back. Kissinger was back in the days. Wasn't he the head of CIA back in the days or something like that?
Henry Kissinger was like a politician. I don't think he was the head of CIA.
Or he was a something like that. Anyway, Henry Kissinger was also connected pretty well, right? And she traces these, like this person, like, talks to this criminal world, and then out of nowhere they go to some third grade law school, and now they're like becoming the, state attorney for New York, and now they're fucking on board of directors of this company that has like connections to this company that's like facilitating drug trafficking from there, but at the same time they're talking to CIA as a asset, you know what I mean? So she connects bunch of dots, right? So when you listen into this book, it's fucking chaotic. It's really fucking chaotic. It's one of the most difficult books I've ever listened to because she gives you so much information, so many names and so many company names and connecting the dots that you literally have to sit down and draw a fucking family tree just to see who's doing what.
And really backtrack it, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I was saying it's an overload of information.
So the main thing that I have here is, let's just take Epstein's example. And let's just say I'm right? Like he's a person that knew the person that knew the person, right? And he kind of connected these dots. On top of that, he's got his own things going on. He's like, helping cover the money, not pay taxes.
And at the
on
same
top of
time,
that, he's got the island.
And at the same time, he's making sure that he can get these people under his blackmail wing.
Yes. Yeah, because think about it.
To have fun.
If he brings them to the island, runs in a bunch of young girls into this room that might be, makeup, clothes, they might look over age because nobody gonna check there for IDs. It's a private island, right? Because it's facilitating meetings. And the next thing you know, all the rooms are bugged. They got photo cameras and things like that. Snap, snap, snap. And then, hey, I need to get this done. Well, we can't do that because XYZ. Well, remember this photo? Well, we can. You know what I mean? Type of
when
deal.
You're the one holding all the blackmail. You can connect people to get shit done.
Yeah. So my thing is this. So obviously it's not the fucking fish that's rotten in a barrel. It's the entire barrel that's rotten, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the whole thing is fucking rotten, right? So if the whole thing is rotten, how you deal with this?
Not a politician, brother. I couldn't tell you.
Because because the reason I'm saying this, even if you take this back and then you relate it to current election, you have two candidates, right? You have one which is Biden, and then you have one that's Trump. In my opinion, when you reach a certain level of influence or certain level of money, for you to progress and get more money, you need to start kind of going into these circles. And in these circles, everyone is kind of washing each other's hands. Everyone's got shit on you. You got shit on them. You know what I mean? So at that point, like even if you legally make certain amount of money, you get to a certain point where you have to start be part of this world. Where
I feel like it's not necessarily you have to. I feel like it's just it's such a big portion of the certain industries, like the industries that majority of these people we're talking about are involved. A big portion of them is involved in all that, so it's just so enticing, and it's just like a big thing. It's like, okay, it's easy way to like take your one and flip it to two really quickly, but I don't think they're forced. There's no way they're forced.
So a good example I can bring up is Elon Musk, because they touched on Elon Musk, and she tried to say that Elon Musk was connected to Epstein, this and that.
Yeah,
tried to connect him back to the island.
His brother had something to do with it.
Yeah, but I think in the case of Elon Musk was put on Epstein as a person that knows people. Because think about it. SpaceX is the NASA. Currently, it's NASA. SpaceX is the one that has the contract from United States to launch rockets. So what do you think is happening? Do you think there's we're going to give this much money to SpaceX. SpaceX is going to launch rockets there. But we're giving you this much money, but you're going to only use this much money, and rest of it is going to go somewhere else. This is what I'm thinking. This is where my conspiracy theories start.
I see what you're saying.
See what I mean? Or the same thing. Or the same
you're
thing.
You're making your own spider web. I got you.
Yeah.
I don't even think that's a conspiracy theory. The government pays a bunch of corporations, like.
Well, he's saying that he
don't
gets
put
that.
in.
They pay them.
They pay them. He keeps about 10%. He keeps the 10%, but then releases the 90%.
Maybe if his involvement was true with him, he could have also he's like thinking backtracking damn. basically what you're saying is that Epstein could have been siphoning money through the government and through Elon.
Through
Elon. Is what you're going at.
Yeah,
Right? That's
this
like
is what I'm
that's
going
your
to.
grand. That's
Yeah,
your grand
I don't think he was
conspiracy.
involved with the island, but he was involved within the whole structure of the siphoning of the money.
But don't you think he would have to be on the island to then Epstein to have been like, hey, you're gonna give me some of that?
Well, no, because remember,
how else would he have gotten the sufficient dirt on Elon? What do you think he had on him?
So you have to understand one thing. Elon is a very ambitious person, and he wanted to be there. So, what do you do for a person? Like, it's one of those things, like, if you know what your opponent or the person in front of you wants, and you can provide that, you can request something in return to provide them that. Elon wanted to go out there, create his SpaceX, push his Tesla, this, and he's like, you know what? I can help you with that. But this is what we're gonna do. Yeah, because if you think about it, look at.
So you think Epstein got him that thing in the first place?
Yes,
that's part of the reason he got it.
Epstein brought him into this world, introduced him into this world with an idea that we're gonna go ahead and siphon the money through you.
Okay.
This is what I'm thinking. This is my conspiracy theory.
Damn, that's far fetched, but I like it.
Agree.
I like the idea.
Agree.
I like the idea.
Epstein's been caught just siphoning money through a lot of companies and a lot of CEOs got put in their positions because of Epstein.
So think about it this way. Think about it this way.
I see why you guys are putting this together. Like, if Elon was involved at all, this is probably the way he was involved.
Yeah,
right?
not the way that she tried to connect them to the Epstein Island, but in a way, this is my opinion again, in a way that, there might be something going on a finance world side. Now, I'm going to bring a name up. Zelensky. That's the president of Ukraine. Currently, we are in a proxy war with Russia and Ukraine. What happened a couple of months back? We sent what? $40 billion to Ukraine as an aid. Mm-hmm. Do you think $40 billion, with a B, not an M, $40 billion went to help Ukraine and Zelensky to fight a proxy war?
I mean, they already had the issue of having extra income that was supposed to be going to Ukraine. And they're like, oh, no, well, we don't have to send them any more money because there's extra money that hasn't even been sent yet. It's just sitting there.
Correct. So what's happening? We are siphoning money through Ukraine to the contractors, or they don't even necessarily need to be contractors. It could be an offshore that belongs to somebody else that's put down as sending rockets or sending airplane parts. But in reality, that airplane parts could be connected to the Mexican cartel, and they're actually siphoning drug money through that.
Well, we don't need to do that in America because we have the American defense contracts. So we have all these people sitting around with military-grade weapons that aren't being used because we're not in a war. They want to get paid for making what they made. So they get that. They get the money, ship the old products over, and then that's why you see Ukrainian soldiers dressed up in a bunch of American-looking Kevlar and ARs and all that.
See, yes, that's what I'm saying. Because what's happening now? Now you're working on both sides. Remember, when a powerful country, goes to war, what do? They play both sides. They supply weapons to one side directly, meaning we are going to do this. And they supply weapons indirectly through black market channels to the other side. But you're still supplying weapons to both. Yeah. Both sides.
I mean, Russia's kind of struggling on their weapons end.
They are struggling, but I do think that there's a little bit of that black market going on the other side as well. Maybe not as much.
I wouldn't believe it. It's always trying to make a buck when it comes to arms, but they're having to pull out Soviet level like tanks and arms. They're trying to pull out old missiles and like howitzers and stuff. Artillery. Mm-hmm. So Putin has just hit his end of his tyrannical reign, that is war.
But see, here's the thing with Russia, which a lot of people, it could be that. I do agree that that's definitely on the table. But what's also on the table is the Russian strategy, the way they wage war. Russia wages war in this sense that they come in, and if they can bulldoze over, they bulldoze over. If they cannot bulldoze over, they step back and they wait. Now, we're saying they might not have the weapons. That's definitely on the table. But just like what we did in Iraq, Iran, we just went over and carpet bombed everything because we didn't give a shit about anything there. So we just bombed everything, flattened everything out, and then walked in. Basically, there was not as much offense against us, right? And we're able to kind of like take care of that. Now, what Russians are doing, they don't want to destroy Ukraine completely. This could be an opinion too. They don't want to necessarily completely destroy Ukraine. Otherwise, they would have done the same thing. Flew over, bombed everything, and then just take over. They don't want to do that. Now, this could be a thing too. Now, I don't know which one is really going on.
I mean, they did. They came in, they bombed hospitals, they bombed social centers and everything, and they did do that initial push because they were trying to pull a blitzkrieg, but
yes,
it didn't work when the Ukrainian counteroffensive pushed them back.
Yes. So anyway,
when you have a bunch of Russians getting pulled in with zero training, not even a boot camp, just you go in, you're handed a gun, not even a uniform,
meat
and
for
get
the
put
meat
on
grinder.
the front line. Exactly.
That's
the Russian way, though. It worked in Stalingrad.
Yeah.
Why not work here?
No, that's true. So again, I don't want to talk about this because it is what it is. It's on their side. He's a dictator. That's 100%. But what I'm trying to say is Zelensky and the $40 billion that went to Ukraine, and a lot of people in the United States are saying, well, why don't we just use that $40 billion for us, for our social programs? We have a bunch of people that are starving. Great idea. But why would they do that if they can siphon a couple of $1 billion off of that top and keep it for themselves? You know what I mean? Like, this is a legal transfer of wealth. That's what's happening.
I mean, yeah, but that's just the American system. We got lobbyists sitting there doing this, sitting there saying, hey, we need that money, not the people.
Now,
we need that money.
Let me bring it back to the current elections, because this whole thing is super important for the current elections. Now we have two candidates, right? It's Papi Biden and Donnie, right?
Currently.
Yeah, currently.
Well, I mean, but no one's putting anyone against Biden, but
yes,
yeah.
So
currently.
Papi Biden, well, the only other person is
Kennedy.
I mean,
Kennedy.
other than the fact that Biden can't even walk nowadays.
Yeah, yeah, we all saw that meme came through. Not real, but what I'm saying, yes, it's Kennedy, and then a lot of people saying maybe DeSantis, but nobody outside of Florida knows DeSantis, so I don't think DeSantis got it.
Hey, Alex
and their team is terrible.
Alex knows him.
Huh?
Well,
Alex knows him, but it's not a mass. People don't know him as much. So if he had a better marketing team, that would have been better, but he doesn't, right? So
if he was a likable person, it would be better. But his marketing team has to be like, "Hey, be likable."
Yeah. Well, I mean, Donnie's marketing team had to tell him that too, but Donnie didn't listen either. You know what I mean? But what I'm trying to say, in her book, she outlines how Biden is also.
I feel like they have to tell any 7-year-old man be likable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any 7-year-old man, they're gonna have to tell be likable.
But Donnie's a character, right? Like, he's a character.
Yeah, this is
yeah, because
it's like an Andrew Schultz joke where he's like, "Hey, y'all gotta admit that shit was entertaining."
Yes.
Every day you got on Twitter, you're like, "What the fuck's happening now?"
Yeah.
And you just got on there waiting to see what he freaked out about.
Yep.
And that was it. And it was literally entertainment.
It got a lot of people into politics.
So let me
That's for sure.
Let me put this in
that
perspective.
Daily grind of just one thing after another. Each day you wake up like, oh, what did he fucking do today?
Yep. Yeah. What did he do today? Literally.
So let me put this in a perspective. Biden's been a career politician since day one. So he's been taking Wall Street money. There's no other way around it. Since day one. Right?
Uh-huh.
Donnie has been a shark in New York real estate. So he's got some crooked shit going on.
No. Johnny was a trust fund baby that's been doing nothing but losing daddy's money since he got.
Whatever.
Let's be real.
I mean, Donnie didn't get all.
He's used
all of
his dad's power and influence in New York.
Correct.
That's why he has nothing anywhere else. And everything else outside of New York has failed.
Yes,
because all he is a trust fund baby that's done nothing but lose daddy's money.
I don't know if he was a trust fund baby and lose daddy's money, because he did get. I'm not saying
I
that
got a small loan of $1 million from my
that was such a famous meme for so long.
Well, wait a minute. So here's the problem. The problem is, yes, it's $1 million that he got, but we all know people that win lottery, because you can equate $1 million to winning lottery. People that win the lottery, they lose their money immediately because they don't know what the hell they're doing. So Donnie didn't just get the $1 million; he was able to multiply it and make it billions.
He got $1 million and lost that $1 million
yes.
in a venture by himself.
Yes.
Then he, through his trust funds and his also inheritance from his father, he got multiple millions of dollars, which he's continuously lost since then.
But he's a billionaire. He's not a
No, he's not.
millionaire.
He's not a billionaire.
Well, I don't know. He's a billionaire according to stats. No, if you look it up, he's a
No.
billionaire.
He's not.
Let's look it
He
up.
tries to
Let's
tell
fucking
people
Google
he's a billionaire,
Okay.
but he's not a billionaire.
Anyway,
Oh, it's like Tate when he says a trillionaire and billionaire.
yeah,
He's just talking shit.
maybe he's talking shit. But the point here is that
Forbes estimates
he's also been in that world. Like you can't take it away from him. He's still he's still in the spotlight as being within the New York real estate. Like you can't just survive in New York real estate if you're not doing crooked shit.
Hey, bro.
This is my opinion.
Forbes got him at 2.5
Yeah.
billion.
So
I mean, 2.5 billion is an estimation. If you have 2.5 billion money, why every time you have legal problems you ask your supporters to send you money?
because why spend your money if you know people will pay for it? It's just like the GoFundMe shit. Like those ladies that got swindled by the Tinder swindler opened the GoFundMe after they send the money to a swindler and they got paid for it.
Oh, so you're saying he's a swindler?
Well, didn't I just say he's done some crooked shit? Didn't I say he's done some
But
crooked
done
shit?
that he's currently doing that.
Yeah, but see, here's the point. Here's my exact point. You have one that says crooked, just like the other one that's crooked. They're both crooked as shit. Neither one is better than the other one. They're both crooked as shit. And whoever is gonna come in, you think Kennedy's not crooked? Kennedy's got his own shit going on the side. I mean, his uncle was, assassinated by the KGB, But what was happening during that time? He open-handedly went out against the world and he was trying to tear down the military programs, the nuclear weapons and things like that. And then KGB decides to assassinate him. Not KGB, but what's his name?
So they're saying 1.1 billion of his money alone is just real estate, and 650 million in his golf clubs and resorts.
There you go.
But see, these are also assets that he appreciates and then depreciates depending on when it is.
There you go.
He ups the price when it's not tax time, and then when tax time comes around, he says he's actually made a net loss of them.
Yes.
So he doesn't have to pay anything.
That's the beauty of accounting. That's our system.
So he's not really a billionaire. He just inflates his status.
Well, he inflates and deflates, so we really don't know what it is. But we can both agree if he inflates it double, right? So then he's got to be at $1 billion. So he's at least at $1 billion. Because you can't just inflate through, like you can't just inflate up to $1 billion.
But it's hard to make that estimation because
when you're that
you
much
can.
money, you
probably
can
could.
and get away with
what
it
I'm
very
saying,
easily.
You can't inflate
Yeah.
double and then deflate double. There's got to be like the accounting has certain rules and regulations that you.
That's the reason why the Trump organization was just in court and just got fined because
Yes.
they were doing this.
But guess what? Trump organization made ton of money and they knew that they're going to go into court and get fined. That's called the risk department of the Trump organization that said, you're going to make this much money, but you're going to get fined this much. It's good business because we're making more money. Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah, it's okay that it's a crime just because it's a small fine?
No, it's not okay. Crime is never okay. That's not what I'm trying to say. All I'm trying to say is that this is how the business operates. And every company has this.
This
every
is
big
how
company
some
has this.
businesses operate.
Every big company.
Not
has
every
this.
charity out there is just a money pit for your kids.
Arturo,
Well,
I've only seen this.
I think
one
every
comment.
charity out
Yeah.
there is a good way to launder money. I don't believe in charities at all. I think that's a good way to siphon money or pretend you're doing something while you're siphoning the money. I think that's what every charity is.
I mean, if you do your research, some charities are that exactly, but a vast
Like
majority of them
which one
are
would you
not.
say are like that?
What's it called? The one for autistic children.
Okay. So you honestly think they're not siphoning money from that charity?
They have been
listing-
caught. Oh,
he's
you mean
listing-
I'm
he's
listing ones that have been
He's
caught.
listing, so
Yeah.
what he said was that he thinks that if you do the research, that there is a small portion that do exactly what you're saying, but that the majority don't.
No, come on, man. It's been proven. All of those, support a child for 25 cents a day. They proved it that like 80 to 90% goes to the marketing and paying off this and that, while only 10 to 20% goes to actually supporting children. Same thing with
So what
Ronald
about
McDonald.
Johns Hopkins?
Same thing with Johns Hopkins. Because remember, Johns Hopkins is a non-profit organization. At the end of the day, they have to show a zero.
No, they don't have to show a zero. They have to show that their money has been allocated to
Correct.
non-profitable funds.
Correct. No, so think about it now. If John Hopkins organization signs a contract to bring these fancy ass beds, they're gonna do this, that, and that, and these fancy ass beds are priced at $200,000 versus $100,000. And we know, let's say, that there should be only 100, but they're being sold for 200. So what's happening there? They're legally siphoning that money to some corporation for some favors down the road, or for the favors that were completed already.
You're using a hypothetical situation for a real charity.
I am, but what I'm saying is, this is the reason I don't believe in charities. So, point is, I don't trust them all. This is the whole thing. I don't trust none of these motherfuckers. They open their mouth, the shit comes out of their mouth, right? Literally, shit comes out of their mouth. But what I'm trying to say, how do you deal with this? Now, you have two crooked candidates, because most likely one of them is going to become the president. It's a good chance, right? How do you deal with that? Would you rather deal with a snake that you know is a snake, or would you rather deal with a cute little panda that's in reality disguised as a snake, or a snake that's disguised as a cute little panda?
Well, I mean, if we're choosing between the turd sandwich and
a dumpster fire, yeah. But that's.
I mean, I'm gonna go for the one that hasn't actively tried to overthrow the government.
Yeah, but
and been caught in the process.
Again, would you not want to know? Like, see, that's the thing. Would you not want to have somebody that you know? Oh shit, yeah, he's doing that. Like, you know exactly that's what they're doing. Versus, oh man, like they've done shit, but they've never been caught.
Well, I mean, just like she said in the pod, you can't just rely on one person to save the whole thing, right? This is things we as people need to actively look at on our local elections, on our governmental governor and like Senate and House, because if we fill those seats with people that are trustworthy, the people that even if they get their little bit on the side, they're making the 80% chance of you having a better life. That's better than what we have now, right?
So now think about it this way. Somebody comes in and becomes a governor. So what's the governor's elections? 4 years? Is it 4 years or 6 years? I don't remember exactly. Governor's being elected for 4 years.
It
right?
changes state to state.
Yeah.
So okay, so let's say it's 4 to 6 years, right? So gets elected or she gets elected, and they're guaranteed 4 to 6 years, right? But they're also trying to make money. So what you as a person gonna do? Gonna sit there while everyone else is making money around you and not make money and say this is wrong?
Well, see, now you're slipping over into capitalism, right? Which isn't our political system. Like, we run through capitalism as our economic system, causing all this greed, all this corruption, because of the stride to be at the top. Because if you can't be at the top, then you're gonna get screwed with everyone else.
Well, you're gonna get screwed whether you're at the top or not. So whether at the bottom or at the top,
getting
right?
screwed with billions of dollars is nowhere close to getting screwed with no money.
So you literally stole the words out of my mouth. So what's better, being screwed with billions in your pocket or being screwed when you have no money in your pocket? It's better getting screwed when you have billions in your pocket.
So you're saying to continue to contribute to the rotten barrel?
No, I'm not saying to continue to contribute to the rotten barrel. What I'm saying is that no matter how much we try, the rotten barrel is going to be there.
So
it's not going to
That's
change.
What you're saying.
No, I'm not saying contribute. But what I'm trying to say, it's not going to change, right? So if it's not going to change, right, there's a big chance that it won't change. Wouldn't you rather have somebody that you know is a snake versus somebody that's a snake that disguises as a koala? Because if it's a snake, you know who the person is or what they're doing.
You're actively like, hey, this guy's gonna do snake shit out and about, up and show everyone in the world.
You could look at it like this: you have two koalas that are surrounded by snakes, being forced to have their snake features be pulled out, and then you just have to pick which one has been shown more as a snake. Because at the end of the day, they have to be koalas. Because that's the only way that people are going to pick them.
But see, I'm more pessimistic on
well,
that. That's
an
optimistic idea. I'm more pessimistic.
Trump's an outlier for that.
Yeah.
Because Trump is not the politician that everyone
No,
is
you're
trained
right.
to
He's
be.
absolutely not.
You know.
He's
Yeah.
absolutely not. Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is, if you know they're a snake and they're gonna pull some snake shit, that gives you opportunity to at least try to understand what snake shit they're gonna pull, and then in a process bettering your own life. This is what I'm trying to say.
So you'd rather actively work against the snake than try to hold the panda accountable to the snake shit?
Well, no,
There you
what I'm
go.
saying is I rather not necessarily actively work against the snake, but see what they're doing, right? And then make sure that benefits you because you know that benefiting their life.
Actively accustoming
you'd-
yourself to the snake. Like
You'd
accustoming
rather
yourself.
be
Correct.
under the snake, benefiting from the snake because fuck everyone else.
Well, see, because yeah, the bottom line is whether it's fuck everyone else or no fuck everyone else. So because you can't just say that each man and each woman is not out for themselves. They are. We are. We are. Each one of us is out for themselves. Without the immediate family, because there's that question, right? If you walked in a door and you see this girl getting pounded, right? Like just getting pounded. Or you walked in the same door and see this guy pounding some girl. What's worse, right?
What do you mean? What's worse? So it's
What's
just a
worse
girl,
within
girl
this
versus
picture?
guy and girl?
What do you mean by pounded? Like physically or sexually?
No, sexually getting pounded.
Oh, okay.
What's worse for you to see? You don't give a shit, right? Whether it's guy doing the pounding or the girl is getting pounded.
They're just having
Right?
sex.
Now,
What the fuck you mean?
now let me flip this. What if you walked in and this was your son doing the pounding or your daughter was getting pounded? Which one is worse?
I mean, yeah, because you have that princess complex
Perfect.
of your daughter.
Thank you.
That's
So this
gonna
is
be-
exactly what I was going. When it's people that you know and they're close to you, yes, you care about them.
I
But
wonder
everyone
what.
else you don't give a shit about.
That's not a good analogy to that situation because at the end of the day, you didn't care about the son, and that's someone close to you. The only
No,
reason
you
cared
cared
there
about the
because-
son, but you still care
Not
about.
really.
So if you walk,
Hey, my bad.
Yeah, if you walk
if
in
it's
and
the,
you see,
if it's the daughter, like,
Wait, wait.
everybody stand the fuck up.
So let me.
Hands in the air, motherfuckers.
I mean, if they're consenting and adults, that's what they do.
No. Well, this is what I was gonna add. You walk in and that's your 11-year-old son doing some pounding.
That's funny because one of my friend's moms walked in on his son pounding another little girl. I'm not talking about a little girl because they were both underage, but high school.
So what I'm trying to say is when it's a person that's close to you, your family member, you do kind of care what happens. Or let's say they're in danger, you care about that they're in danger. But if there's an accident on the side of the road, you go by and like, oh shit, look at this accident, snap a picture, continue. But if you knew that accident was somebody that's your family member, now that impacts you, right? So what I'm trying to say, within your immediate vicinity, you care about those people. But everyone else, we can go out there and say we care about this, care about that. But in reality, we really don't. Not to the degree that we care about some people that we can say, okay,
But that
I'm going to
doesn't
go
mean
against
you
my
don't.
needs and wants and help them.
I don't know.
So-
I give water away to homeless people. Like
Yeah, you give water away because you have water. What if you didn't have water? Would you give it away if your life depended
there's
or
no
your
fucking
family's
water
dependent
to
on
give.
water?
Dude, Tommy brought up a good point. If a homeless guy can do a backflip for $5, he deserves it.
Yes, that's true. That's
so
true. He
fucked- that's
deserves
so
the $5.
fucked up.
But here's the question.
That's so fucked up. Using them things for entertainment. That's fucked up.
Listen, you're not using it for entertainment. You're giving him $5 for something that he did. He put
For
his
talent.
time and effort, and you paid him, which is
Nah,
what you
they
do
just
at
wanted
your
to see
work.
the homeless man do a backflip. Get
What's the
fuck
difference
outta here.
between you
But-
doing a
but see, the thing
backflip and you're
is-
working?
Most of these people that are like, hey, here's $5, do a backflip, are taking that video,
Yes.
putting it on the internet, and they're making
Yes.
thousands of $5
Now that part is fucked up.
off of his backflip.
Yes, that's fucked up. I agree with that. That's fucked up. But because there's no different. If
But
you
that's
see-
the system, though.
well, no,
That's our system.
that's the system because now again you have to.
He's benefiting off of his individualism because he doesn't give a fuck about the people around him. He only gives a fuck about him and his.
Yes, but hear me out. He would never make money if general populace did not contribute to this. What I'm trying to say, the general populace is the one that's perpetuating because if those videos did not get views, they would not do that. Those videos do get views, and that's why these people do it.
All right, ready? I'm about to hit y'all with another conspiracy because we got off conspiracy and just the finance.
Yeah.
Fucking like tedious shit. the conspiracy I heard about, and I said, "Oh shit, I didn't know that was connected to one thing and another." Manson and MK Ultra.
Oh, I don't know this. You go ahead.
You know this one?
I do.
Yes.
Okay. I only know a little bit.
Well, first you got to
it.
tell me who's MK Ultra. I know what Manson
Okay,
is.
so MK Ultra is the conspiracy theory about the mind control
Oh shit, that's happening.
that
That's
America
happening.
did.
CIA
right?
did that shit in
Yeah.
70s. Do you think they're not doing it
So
right now?
the whole thing about that, they connected Manson. You know who Manson is, right? The fucking guy.
Yeah.
The
Marilyn
cult leader
Manson. Yeah.
got people to murder for him. I think he murdered
He was
himself.
he was a singer, wasn't he?
I don't.
Or
know
are you
if he was
talking
an
about-
artist, but he was a cult leader.
He did do singer, but he was a cult leader.
Yeah,
Are you
that's
talking
what
about
his major
Marilyn
emphasis.
Manson or
Or
what's his
Marilyn
name?
Manson or Charles
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 Manson.
Manson? Okay,
Yeah, I'm thinking-
okay, go ahead.
yeah,
Yeah,
I was like,
now I
not
know who you're talking
Not
Marilyn,
about.
no.
Marilyn Manson.
Charles
Sorry,
Manson.
no, he has his own problems.
Yeah, right.
Because if you say Manson, you gotta kind of say which Manson we're
Yeah.
talking about. But yeah, the cult leader Charles Manson.
Yeah,
Okay.
the murderer.
Yeah.
So they're
Kool-Aid.
connected.
Was it? He was the Kool-Aid guy, wasn't he?
No, he's
No.
the one
Oh,
that convinced
that's right.
teens and
Teens to
actresses
kill for him.
to
Yeah,
go
yeah.
kill other. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
So apparently, this I think it's CIA, right? Is it CIA that's
Yes,
connected?
CIA.
Yes.
It was
CIA
right?
was apparently the ones who provided him with LSD, showed him how to use it, showed him how to make it look like he was taking LSD and then giving it to other people. And then he was apparently, they were trying to use MK Ultra with LSD, and he was testing to get people to murder.
Yeah.
Like that's how they're connecting the dots.
Yeah.
Because there's so many occasions where the CIA came in and let Manson go.
Yes,
He was straight up like
because
arrested.
it was an asset.
Yeah, he was. There you go. And they just these guys in suits just came in like, hey, let him go. And they're like, what the fuck you mean let him go?
I mean,
let
that's-
him go, motherfuckers. Let him
Yeah,
go.
no, the CIA is being connected.
And yeah, so apparently they provided him with the acid and were like basically the head of the program of what he was doing.
Yeah, no, the CIA has been involved in politics, in geopolitics, in trafficking drugs since day one they were created. Literally, half of the directors of CIA own offshore companies that literally are traced down to Pablo Escobar and right now, and then later to Cali cartel and later to Sinaloa cartel.
Overthrew governments in Venezuela.
Yes,
Like,
Nicaragua, Dominican Republic, to Puerto Rico.
I always thought, but the reason I thought it was weird, right? Because I watched that Mindhunter series. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yes.
Where they, where they,
the BAU, how it was created.
yeah, and how they coined the whole term serial killer. The
Yeah.
guy who did that and all that. Really good series. If you guys haven't seen that, Mindhunter on Netflix.
Netflix,
really
take it out of indefinite hiatus and
Right?
please
Yeah.
bring it back.
We want to see what happened after he goes fucking crazy, right? Like,
Yeah.
because in the end he fucking
Yeah.
goes nuts.
So,
And
go ahead.
but the reason I thought it was weird when I heard this from Joe Rogan was that they never brought that up in the case, right? Like they never showed that at all. And then I thought about it at the same time. It's like, well, they didn't know, right? That's the time when it was all under hush hush. Nobody knew shit, and Manson was just playing crazy.
Well, wait a minute. These guys are making a movie about a show about FBI, and they're gonna blast it through the national. People gonna see, millions and millions of people gonna see. Do you not think FBI had a fucking another asset part of the crew that had access to the documents to read and figure out what's being put out there?
That's a whole nother conspiracy.
Because you gotta think about it. I mean, yes, government.
I get what you're saying. They're all
Government is
connected.
not that smart. Average employee in a government, they're not that smart. They're smart, but they're just extremely lazy. But the ones that are in charge, do you think they want their dirt to come out? They don't.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things like, has CIA been involved with a bunch of shit? 100%. Has FBI been involved with a bunch of shit? 100%.
All right, Arthur, you have to make some kind of donation or something to see a shaved face. Like that shit doesn't just come for free, bro. Like I don't get it. Oh, I have an idea.
Y'all better start fucking sharing our shit, subscribing, liking, so we can get those likes and shares so we can actually monetize it so you can pay for Alex to shave.
There you go.
That's all I'm saying.
Shit.
I don't know. My baby face is a little too bad. I might take some. Take some convincing.
So
How many gifted subs?
So yeah. So going back to MK Ultra, right? Do you
Yeah.
honestly think like in 70s, 60s they were doing this shit, right?
But I'm
Do
saying,
you think they're not doing it now?
No, but what I'm saying though is, do you think that's true? That
Yes.
the CIA controlled Manson 100%?
Yes, 100%, bro. And then Manson was probably gonna
We
talk.
didn't even have to give him much detail. He didn't even. He was like, "Yup, they did it."
No,
I
but
mean, shit. The FBI was found in court to have killed Martin Luther King. Like,
Yes, they were. They literally assassinated Martin Luther. They organized the whole fucking
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So Manson, what happened? He either got too unstable for them, or he just was threatening them, and they're like, mm-mm, like the dictator, you know. In that
why
movie.
do you think that when you
And
joined
they make
the
a holiday in his
they
name.
asked you?
Say again, Alex.
Why do you think when you join the military, they ask you if you've taken LSD? And if you do, that it automatically disqualifies you from being either a draft pick or joining. Because it's been such a heavy influence in our government the drug was used to heavily influence people. Like, we had so many, like, mind control experiments outside of MK Ultra
Mhm.
that were using LSD or other like psilocybin and shit like that
So
to try to gain
Psilocybin.
Two
mind
CB,
control.
two CB was part of that. It was a cocktail of ketamines and things like that. That's resurfacing now again. That was created back in the 80s. All these drugs that we know, they were literally came from some sort of a governmental entity trying to test something, and then it just kind of leaked that they can make money off of this because it's not working, right? Kind of is, but it's not, right? So the bottom line is like that the whole fucking fish barrel, just like we said, is fucking rotten. So how do you fight that? What do you do? Because if you come out and say, you know what, if people get up and say this is going to be civil war, we're knocking everybody down. They knock everybody down. And what's going to happen? Anarchy. And then we're going to go back to feudal times of anarchy where people had to work 11 days out of the week. How do you do that? How do you work 11 days out of the week? You have to work at night.
No one man's going to do that. No woman.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say, when you knock down the
I get what you're saying.
You create anarchy. You can't just cherry pick this person, that person, replace them, and then expect that everything's going to change. You can't. You got to change the whole top. You got to drain the swamp, right? Like, I don't want to bring Donnie's words, but in reality, you got to drain the swamp. Like, if you disassociate those two things with Donnie and just use that word, you got to drain the swamp. But how the fuck do you drain the swamp? Where do you even start draining the swamp? Where everyone else
like
and
I
their
said,
mother is
the-
involved.
And who do you trust to drain the swamp? Because you're going to automatically assume the person you trust to do it is going to look at the moss and algae that they look at colorful and pretty for them and be like, okay, that can stay.
Well, or you get somebody in there that's got so much money that doesn't give a fuck about anybody else's money.
Mr. B style, fuck it, make me president, ain't no more lobbyists, fuck all
No, no, because those are the worst people to get in there. You want to know why? Because they have so much money that they can then make even more money. So that's all they're gonna care about.
Well,
is even more money.
Plus, then there's the catch-22. How did the fuck did they make this money? Because you can't. We now know, because of my opinion. What my opinion is, we don't know shit. This is just my opinion. You don't just easily make money with being fucking fair and straight arrow.
I feel like everything is a lot more fun when it's feelings, no facts.
When it's feelings, no facts. See, the problem is when you do feelings, no facts, then you get a world of
fuckery.
I mean, shit. We see what feelings, no facts is right now.
Yeah.
Everyone will jump to their opinion faster than they jump to an article that's even says anything that might even either agree or disagree with them.
Yeah, and you know what opinions are? They're assholes. Everybody's got one and they smell like shit.
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Some people wipe them, some people don't.
See, like, when the feelings and, when you want to go the feeling route, just walk in a room with a bunch of women. See how much you're going to like that room. It's all full of feelings in that room. No, none of us
You
can
know what I
survive
like
there.
doing when I'm at parties and shit, and you go to the little group where all the girls are hanging out, and you just sit there, and you can, for like 30, max 20 minutes, you can probably stand around and act like a girl with them. And kind of gossip around, just egg them on, kind of gaslight the fucking the gossiping. I think that's just hilarious.
It is, but then after 20 minutes, what do? You walk out because it gets too much.
My head hurts.
Yes, this is what feelings do.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I love women. I'm not like Jay.
Yeah, no, I love women too. I just dislike the stupid ones.
He just loves them in a different way.
No, I love women that know what their role is. Which is, be a woman, be nurturing,
Jay,
take care of the family.
I feel like there's a great place for you, and it's called Salt Lake City, Utah.
Why?
Right? They have a nice little community there called the Mormons.
Yes.
They believe in plural marriage. You can have as many wives as you want. Actually, the more wives that you have, the higher echelon you get
And that's
in
it.
heaven.
I don't want a lot of wives because one girl's already headache. Can you imagine having 2 or 3? That's just
But
like double
but
headache.
these women are taught to do nothing but keep sweet and obey. So all they do is heed to your needs, and that's it.
No, I don't need her to keep catering to my needs. I need her to cater to my family's needs, not to me, to my
Oh
children
yeah,
and
that's
my
a part of
family
it.
They'll
needs.
do that
Exactly.
too.
But you are the head.
And what's wrong with that? If they're the nurturing kind, what's wrong with that? Because I know
he's
sure
not
shit
saying
not
anything
nurturing.
like
Yeah,
that.
he's
He's
not
just
saying anything.
recommending to you, brother. He sees
I
you.
mean, they may or may not be a cult, but other
That's
than
a whole
that,
other conversation.
that's just a,
So
that's just
see,
a different thing.
you-
Hey,
so
like
you-
we already said, those religions and shit, they're just cults and the leader's dead, bro.
Yeah, so but the point here is what's wrong with a girl being nurturing and taking care of her family? Why is that such a bad thing? Why is that looked
I don't
down
think
upon?
anyone's saying it is.
So but that's
I
how
think
it looks
motherhood
like.
is
'Cause you're saying
actually
cult and
it's
this
actually
and that.
it's looked high upon in the society. If you choose not to have a baby in the society, you're looked at as something weird and something evil
Well,
because you don't want to take care of a child.
well, no, I mean it's a choice, right? Like, is this what you want to do? But
It is, but in the court of public opinion, you're looked down upon more for wanting to be not wanting to be a mother than you are for
Yeah,
wanting
because
to be
there's
a
this
mother.
thing is called selfish gene, and not everybody can understand that there's maybe a different opinion, and you're an outlier. Because people don't see statistics as statistics, right? Like they just think everybody is gonna do the same thing, right? Like it's just normal. But what I'm trying to say, this is what I'm trying to say. Why do we shame women that take care of their family, love their husbands, take care of their husbands, make their husband's life easier so the husband can work, bring the bacon home? Why do we shame that? Why do we call these women pick-me's? Why do
I
we
don't
shame
think
them?
anyone.
So I don't think
shames
anybody
them.
No,
shames
we
that.
do.
Ready?
We do.
No. What
And
people
that's definitely not a
shame-
pick me.
That's what I'm trying to say. This is what I want. So why would
Ready?
I go to Utah?
So this is what I'm trying to say. People don't shame that. People shame that, saying that every woman should be like that. That's not what you're saying either.
No.
You're saying that's what you prefer your woman to be like.
To be
and
like,
that's what you're
correct. I
saying.
prefer,
And
not
everybody can
should.
have their standards, and nobody is hating on that.
Yeah.
Nobody's fucking hating on that because we all know in this room that you can find a girl that can abide to the majority of those standards of being a
Yes.
what do we know as a traditionalist kind of woman.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. 100%.
There you go.
And
But what
and-
people don't like is when you try and say every woman should be like that, and women that are not like that are such and such
Or
derogatory.
No,
step
no, no,
out
no,
of
no.
it
That's
just
not
even a
what you're
little
saying
bit.
either.
Yeah.
But
Right.
that's what people don't like.
Yeah.
That's
so,
where the negative
so-
connotation comes
There
from.
you go.
so see, here's the thing. Like a lot
Nobody
of
attacking
people,
you, Jay. It's
a
alright.
lot of people misunderstand this thing. Like, are there out there misogynists that hate women and they say women should? Yes, women should not
They usually
do whatever.
say females. You can tell if it's as misogynist
Ah.
when they refer to women as females.
Bro.
Okay.
Yes, you're right. You're right because I remember when I was working at Best Buy, bro. This guy came in. He said, "Can you make sure a female doesn't do it?"
Yeah.
I remember so at Best Buy they used to have they still have it I think. You get a screen protector from them, a specific brand. You could get a replacement
yeah.
through for life,
Because he thought that she's incompetent.
basically. And he tried to tell me, "Oh no, don't think it's like that. I just had someone do it like that before, and it was a girl, and you messed up."
Yeah.
It's
So
like,
you had a bad
but
experience and you
with
just put a fucking label
exactly,
on
and put a
everything.
label that it's because the female did it.
Yeah.
No, you like, dude, are you
give
fucking
it,
serious?
Give it to me. I'll fuck it up
you
worse
know-
than that girl.
You know what I did? You know what I did? I didn't do it.
Yeah.
I fucking was like, bro, really? Okay. And I was like, oh, by the way, sir, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to leave you to this female. I have another customer that's back that I was with. I have to get
Yeah.
back to. She's gonna take over this quick screen replacement for you, bro. I saw him like livid inside, like blood boil, and it's just like that's what you fucking get. And guess what? I should have told her to fuck it up and then make you take 20 minutes here because if she fucks it up, she'll do it again and it does it right.
Yeah.
But that way you take more time here, fucking dickhead. That's what I should have done.
But see, this is the thing. Like, what I don't like is when guys come out and say, "Well, the girl should do this. Girl should."
There you go. That's
Nah.
what people don't
No,
like.
you shouldn't
know?
do shit.
Yeah.
You do you, boo.
There
But
you go.
then don't get mad at me if I say, I don't think this relationship is working
Exactly.
for me.
So what I will say,
You shouldn't do shit.
What I will say is there are some people that will also look at your standards and say, well, those standards are misogynistic, da da da. And if you listen to what Jay says, no, his standards aren't necessarily misogynistic. It's what he wants his wife to be like,
Yes.
not necessarily because he's trying to put her down.
Yes,
There you
that's
go.
exactly what it
And
is.
so,
and
then
how would
that's
you,
where people confuse that, you know?
Yeah, and I think this takes bad connotation, and a lot of people within a space get a bad rep for it because they're saying, well, these are my standards, this is what I want. And then you have these crazy ass feminists that come out there and they truly have misandry within them. They're the ones that come into Best Buy and say, make sure male doesn't do it, but yet we don't look at it the same way we look at the whole female thing, right?
I don't want that rude
I
ass
don't
nigga
I
to
don't
touch my
I
stuff.
don't know about that.
Yes, no,
part,
I mean,
because
yes.
I can feel you on the, hey, this is my standards, like you express, right?
Yeah.
But you have
I
the
have-
Matt Walshes out there, the Ben Shapiro's that
Yeah.
don't say this is how I think a traditional woman say. They say this is how a woman should be,
There you go.
Well,
There are some guys
and that's
that are
where
like
the
that.
problem is.
I don't
I love listening
I
to
don't
Ben, by the
know.
way, just fucking
Anytime
him
I've ever
talk
seen
dumb
them
shit.
talk, I don't know. There might be more content that I haven't seen. I'm not gonna say that I've seen their long form content either. So it's usually clips. I've never seen them say this is what they should do. They just say traditional women are like this.
Yeah. But you
The
saw that he was with
tradcons,
Milk.
right? But the tradcons, I don't agree with tradcons either. Because tradcons are all about get married as soon as possible, have children, this and that. They're actually talking about getting married, which I'm kind of against. Like, I don't think you should get married in 2023. You want to do it through church, it's up to you, but don't ever do it legally, where tradcons will say, no, do it legally. You know what I mean? So, I don't necessarily agree with tradcons either. Like, I agree with, this is how majority of us is designed, by design, and we should act within those roles because we're good at it. I'm not saying that you can't do it, but we're just better at it, and you're better at this.
One thing that you reminded me of when I was telling Emily, I go, yeah, like we had that conversation. I was talking bullshit, but she said, oh, how many kids you want?
Yeah.
Like, we were talking within the group.
Yeah.
And I said, I'll take 2 or however the fuck you want. Either because we have a lot of money or we're good.
Yes.
Or it's like one or the other, right? If we're good, we're chilling on money. Like, it's not like we're living like normal, average Joes.
Yes.
2 kids, whatever, fine with me. But if we have a lot of money, I'm fine with however money you want. And she goes, well, how many kids do you think I'm going to take care of? And I was like, well, the whole point of having money is you can have someone else take care of them. And her herself, as a female, was like, I'm not having nobody else take care of my fucking kids. I'm taking care of my kids. And so
that's a keeper.
And that, I heard that and I go, okay, that actually makes a lot of sense.
Yes,
I'm wrong in that sense. She's right. And yeah, that's the kind of woman I prefer.
So see, hear me out. I got a controversial idea on this. You can't just have one kid. If you're gonna have kids, you can't have one kid.
I agree. I 100% agree.
Go ahead.
Because there's a dynamic, and I think, for example, I don't want to go into this because I have a lot of people that are like Mickey.
Yeah.
I know Mickey has siblings, but kind of in a sense like a only child, right?
Yeah, you could say that.
Right? You kind of are. You kind of are.
I don't think Miggy fits into that stereotype of a one single child that I have in my head.
But the stereotype I'm thinking of is the only reason I kind of like don't want that for my kid is the love I have for my sister, to have the lack of that for my kid. I want them to have that experience of a dynamic, whether it be a brother or a sister, to have a sibling, because I think that means a lot, and it shows what
Having
a friendship can be like. That is you're gonna argue with that person, and then the next day you have to fucking deal with it.
Having multiple kids is a cool idea. The only thing I don't like about it is the part where if you have multiple kids and one of them loses their life, damn.
Yeah. Now, what do you think?
But you can't. Those are what ifs that you can't make life decisions based on.
Of course
Yeah.
not. It's just
Right?
it's just a scary
That
thought.
is a scary concept, but that's just kind of like the same concept of, oh man, what if I get her a wife and I have a long life with her and then she dies? Like
Yeah.
that's the same.
What about you, Alex? What do you think about the one kid? What do you think would be the negatives of one kid? We're not talking about the positives because we can come up with a bunch of shit, but
I mean, yeah, because you got people like The Weeknd and stuff who are only childs, and now they're rich and famous. But
Yeah, it's not like because you're an only child, you're not going to be successful.
go ahead.
It has
right.
nothing to do with that.
It's all about your situation and your raising. Like if your parents just coddled you and fucking lawnmower parent to where they not only helicoptered around you but
Yes.
made sure and mowed down every
Obstacle. and
little
everything.
bit of obstacle or opposition in your way, you're not going to be able to take care of yourself. You know?
My thing is because I don't want to raise a selfish asshole. Because they're not gonna know what it is to share the crayons. They're not gonna know what it is to share a chicken wing. They're not gonna, even though there's food.
Bro,
You know what I mean?
listen
They're not
to
gonna
this.
know what it is to share.
I think every kid. I'm sorry, this is so fucking cruel, But every kid needs to know that feeling of like watching your sibling eat something that there's not enough, like for like that last bite. Or for example, if your sibling was someplace with a relative and they came home with ice cream, you don't got no fucking ice cream, or whatever it is, or they're going out, or you're not going out.
It's not a cruel thing. It teaches you life,
and that's what I'm trying to say. I'm gonna say this. Ready? I was very spoiled. I was a very, very spoiled child in a sense because me and my sister were 8 years apart, so I didn't have that dynamic as tightly as someone like you and your brother did.
Yes.
Right? Where you guys had to share stuff or split things. Sometimes it was only like a bite and he got it or you got it and he missed out or you missed out on something.
One cut and the other one picked the fucking side that they want. So we had fucking rulers out.
Had to time out fucking gaming
but you know
and
what?
shit like that.
I did learn that whole like I have to sit there and just acknowledge that you have some and I don't was with Rodolfo. With his brothers, because he had 3 older brothers. So I knew what it was like. For example, if I'm going to be honest with you, if my sister came home with something, she was going to give me a little bit of it. And my mom was probably going to force her to give me a little bit of it. But if I was in Rodolfo's house, nobody was telling his brothers to give me nothing. I was sitting there watching them eat whatever or enjoy whatever or play the video games or whatever. And nobody was telling them to share with us. And nobody was forcing them to include us in any kind of way at all. And so I learned that, and and as a little kid, I fucking hated it, but I like it now. I think it taught me something valuable in life to appreciate mine and just not really care about others.
That's one thing I really loved about being able to make my own money. It's like I see other people that have these things and I can't have them. It's like, well, now I have money to go buy my own shit.
But doesn't those things feel better? Don't you take care of your motorcycle better, your car better when you are fucking able to earn that shit versus being given?
Sure. I mean, if it's given, you're probably not really going to take much care of it.
Yes.
But if you're working for it and you're constantly paying and you know you have something, you know, that you're paying for or you paid for, yeah, you're definitely going to take way more care of it.
Now, we all understand that two siblings, you know, it is what it is. Now, 3. I don't like 3 just as much I don't like 1. Why do you think I don't?
Because they say that there's a middle child syndrome thing.
Okay.
Like the middle child's always going to somehow receive the least amount of attention.
What about you, Miggy?
3 kids is okay. I mean, it's a lot of kids to take care of, but if you already have 2, 3 isn't really that big of a deal.
I don't know about the middle child.
3 all around the same age is horrible.
What do you think, Alex? What do you think?
My aunt has 3 kids.
I am a middle child.
My aunt has 3 kids.
Oh, that explains a lot. No, I'm joking.
So, do you think that's? Did you experience middle child syndrome?
Oh yeah. My sister's always been the babies, and my brother was always like the perfect first child. You know, so like not saying that.
So
I had that.
Logan was always the number 1. He was like
the
prize baby.
His shit never stank, no matter what he did, and I got blamed for everything. You know. I was always the devil child.
Well, let's agree.
Can I ask you this?
Younger ones are the devil children. You know, the number ones are always like.
Ready?
You know,
so did you experience this a lot where Logan was on your parents' side more than you, or was he defending you constantly?
No, we're 18 months apart, so like we were very tight knit when we.
You guys were basically getting caught in shit together.
18 months apart too.
Okay, got you. Always defend. It was. So I'm assuming the answer is always defending each other.
So like, I don't think.
Yeah.
So I don't know
because I never
was
had the biggest fucking snitch, bro.
So you know it's funny.
The biggest.
Last night, I was at my grandma's house, right? Because I'm staying over there, and I started playing around with my little cousin, and I'm trying to like do leg locks on him. And then his little brother, who is about 3 years apart. He came over and he started fighting me off, trying to get his brother out of my leg lock. And I thought that was the cutest thing ever.
Yeah, Miggy. So find a girl so you can have kids with.
You're right.
Oh my god, damn.
So my thing is, I don't really think that. Now again, I don't know because I've never experienced, right? Like the privilege, somebody that has a privilege, you kind of don't see it. I don't think it's a middle child syndrome, but I think they're just always there, like doing the black sheep shit. Just because they're the middle child, you know what I mean? They're always trying to.
They're trying to see what they can and cannot do.
But even when you have 4 children, you still get that, you know,
in
that
middle
one
too,
child
right?
in the like one of the 2 of the middle was either like
but
they're either coddled or they got the treatment and the other one got.
So I'm thinking in my head, it could be wrong, but I'm thinking 4 is a little bit different because like you got the ends, you got the baby, and then you got the oldest one and the baby, and then the 2 in the middle, they're kind of like to themselves. You know what I mean? They're like the throwaways.
I think it all depends on how far apart each baby is. I think you can have multiple different dynamics depending on the age gaps everywhere.
So to all the tradcons out there, we came together with a panel and we decided 2 is the ultimate, like the 2 is the it. So all of you out there talking about 19 kids, you're all idiots. Maybe you're not. I don't know. Good luck to you with 19 children. 16 and pregnant.
Yo, that community in Utah that I was talking about had like 50, 60 children.
You going at Tommy now? Because his number, from Tuesday was like him and his 19 brothers and sisters.
Bro, can you imagine you as a dude having 56
Bro,
kids?
I didn't know.
At that point, you're not even going to give a fuck about anybody.
Did you know he had that many?
No, I didn't even know he had siblings.
I knew he had siblings. I knew he had
Wait,
2
who's
brothers.
Tommy?
Bro, Tommy, the guy we had on Tuesday, man.
Wait, he's got how many?
A lot.
Bro. Oh,
his dad was fucking.
We talked about this at IHOP. We didn't.
That's what I'm saying. I wasn't here.
You weren't here. You
bro,
weren't
my
here.
bad. So we'll tell this, right? I don't think Tommy fucking minds. Tommy, and we went to IHOP afterwards. We had a fucking night with him till 2 a.m. that day.
That's cool. We should bring him out, bro, and have this on the pod again.
Yes. What's it called? Yeah, we needed to keep talking. It was fucking 3 hours.
Yeah, it was
3.5 hours, and we were still wanting to keep going.
Unfortunately, we can't talk about all the things that we talked about.
Yeah,
we did have a
so
good
Tommy
time.
apparently had a lot of siblings.
Bro, so he's got him on his dad's side, on his mom's side. Mom's smaller side. Is 6 total.
Okay.
Him is, so I think it's Tommy, 2 brothers, and 2 sisters, and I don't know what the 6th one is. There's one more. Then he's got 13
on the dad side
through the dad.
Yeah.
And him and his mom are he is the only offspring of him, his mom and his dad.
Oh, okay, cool.
All of it is half siblings.
I gotcha. Now, so going back to the 56 that Alex said, can 56? You imagine in Utah? That's what he said.
Some families had up to like 56, 60 fucking children.
Multiple wives. It got to be multiple.
They don't have any technology or anything, no?
Multiple wives and multiple dicks, maybe, too, right? Because fuck, 56!
Nah.
Holy shit!
It's one dude.
This dude was old. Like, the cult leader had like 62 wives.
So let me ask you this. I mean, statistically, this shit don't fit in my head. Well, number one, what I was going to say is, when you have 56 children, you don't even fucking remember neither one of their names, right? Maybe the first one and the second one. But that's after that, you just like, fuck it. Throw the notebook out the window.
Right? Back in the day, that made sense because half of them died.
Yes.
Before.
So here's the question I have.
24? Fuck, no, I'm good. 26, whatever it is, fuck. No.
So think about it this way. If the population of the world is basically 50-50, right? 50 women, 50 men.
It's like 51-49.
So whatever
51
it is.
women, 49, so around there.
Yeah, that's fine.
But it's not 50-50.
So let's say there's
50-50.
It's quick little fact before you go into that. There are places, I was watching a podcast earlier, and the guy said that in Puerto Rico, more men are actually born than women.
Okay. There you go.
So you're going to have certain parts of the world, where it pushes more than the other, but like the general average is about 50-50. Yeah.
Okay, so if we go by the general average, 50-50, Mormon community cannot be the outlier. I mean, they can technically, but what are the chances of them being the outliers and producing only women? And if they're producing only women, at what percentage they're producing only women, right?
Anybody want Taco Bell?
So how in the fuck?
I'm okay. Thank you.
Taco Bell? No, not Taco Bell. How in the fuck does one guy have like 96 wives that gets to have 50 children? So what happens with the rest of the men in the community?
They get, you either get politically in the right pockets, or
you leave the community.
Some of them got exiled, literally kicked out, like they were sitting on Utah's state government. Yeah,
I've heard something like that, where if your father is good with the council, they'll keep you within the community, but if you do fuck up and they don't like you, they'll kick you out and things. Okay, I've heard of that. That makes sense.
If you don't go and subdue to their child labor that they do too, because they have kids as little as 6 to 10. working construction jobs
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it cuts costs.
Yeah, I've
So
heard
if
that.
you do anything, even if the cult leader was like, "You're against God, get out,"
But
because
see,
he's the one that's picking who's getting married.
so now, see, this is what like, I would want my kid to know the things that I know at the earliest age. Does this mean it's a child labor if I'm like having him help me do something?
Yes, because you're having him do a job you're getting paid for
Mm-hmm.
without paying them.
Oh, job that they're getting paid for. Okay, this is different.
Yeah,
Like I was thinking more
they're
like I'm
building
fixing a car,
WalMarts
for
and
example.
Amazon warehouses with child labor
Oh, okay, okay. Well, that's a
because
different
it's
thing.
cheap.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so yeah, so that makes sense with the Mormon community. Now, I'm not going there to get a wife. Like you just kind of drove the last nail in the coffin of that one. If there was still a little bit of crack left in that lid, the lid.
We
is
all talking
closed at
about
this
wife
point.
and bitches from where?
Utah. We're not doing that.
No,
We go skiing
fuck,
there,
no.
but we're not doing.
I want to go. I want to go snowboarding, bro. When are we going to
Utah. Park City's pretty good.
When are we going on a snow like
I'm down whenever. I'm down. I'm always down to go skiing. I love.
Aren't you going to
skiing.
Tennessee here soon?
I want to, but I'm gonna be
Uber's
going
always
in August,
open
brother.
for. Uber's always open with snow.
Yeah.
It's fake shit, but
But isn't it pretty small mountain? Like if you're
Yo,
gonna
you
go,
might
like,
have
you wanna
just
get a
you
big
might have
mountain.
just made me go and spend a bunch of money. I know it's a lot of money to go snowboard, like do any of
it
those
is.
snow sports in the U.S. But you might have just made me tax on
We can
whatever
always
that
do Canada.
money is for that.
We can always do Canada, bro. Banff is not that far away. It's cheaper to stay there at winter time because it's known for summer, right? So summer
I want to
rates
go to
are high.
Canada. Fuck it, let's do it.
Banff is really nice. They have really big slopes and everything is 25% off. Like even the slope tickets and everything. Everything is 25%
So
off.
talk to me, Alex. What you got planned for me? I'm sure we're gonna do. We gotta do something one day. What you want to do? What you think is the best thing for us to go and do?
Well, he's got to get barbecue and some collard greens.
Yes,
and some
we
mac
gotta
and
get
cheese.
some fucking barbecue. At whatever barbecue place you choose, I trust your judgment. Even if it's in the
I
fucking
think
back
Alex
of a
is a
trailer.
little too white. You got to talk to his wife about the barbecue. place.
We might have to ask
I've
Todd.
been in the
this
community for a bit. I
Yeah.
know the places.
Now, okay, let's talk about barbecue. Do you like barbecue wet or do you like it dry?
Oh,
See what I mean? See,
I mean, it depends on the sauce though. Like if you got a smacking dry sauce, dry rub,
Yeah.
like that shit's but nothing beats like that fall off your bone fucking like
Yes.
saucy ass rib.
But I'm not against something that's dry. I'm not against that at all. At all. You know, like what my dad makes every week on the Fridays, like some of those pieces of pork that aren't necessarily juicy, I still eat that shit and I enjoy it. Like I'm not the person that's like, oh, it's like the slightest bit chewy. This is disgusting. No, I can enjoy a good barbecue.
You know
that
what
has
I
nice
don't
flavor.
question barbecue? When I
Yeah.
eat their dry rub ribs or whatever pork or whatever
Yeah.
it is and it's delicious, I don't question their sauce because I already know that sauce is going to be good.
Yeah, yeah.
Like if they can make a dry rub really tasty, you already know sauce is going to be just on a level the same.
But yeah, I want to go eat some good barbecue, and then I'm down to do something chill. We don't gotta go do nothing crazy. I'm not down to do no dumb tourist shit. I'm trying to relax, and so I'm assuming you're on the same kind of vibe.
I mean, this place is a chill.
Yeah, we can just go fucking chill, have a drink.
Wait,
somewhere,
where are
whatever.
you?
Shit, I'm in Knoxville.
Knoxville?
Yeah.
Knoxville has decent barbecue. Now, I mean, if you can make it to Nashville, Nashville's going to have, but Knoxville and
Memphis
Nashville.
is where you want
Memphis
to go
is
for
where it's at,
barbecue,
yeah.
but
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
Old Town
We used to
Barbecue
have
Memphis.
an old lady back in the neighborhood that like she used to take plates. So like whenever throughout the week we'd wait Saturday or Sunday whenever she felt like cooking, you'd give her $20 and show up at her house and she gave you collard greens, like everything. The
Greens,
goods.
potatoes, tomatoes.
For just like $20 just because she liked cooking for people.
Nice.
Where's she at?
Oh, she did. She been did.
Damn.
Oh,
She didn't leave the books around.
She don't got a
I don't
daughter
know.
that
I
does that?
didn't know the family. I just knew her.
She didn't leave the Krusty Krab recipe.
This is
around?
what I'm talking about, man. Some of these women don't have the fucking cookbook from their grandmas. That's the problem.
I think
That's the problem.
Jay, I think we might have
My
found your
wife ain't
solution
got
to your
the
love
single
life.
cookbook.
Yeah, I mean, when I say a cookbook, I mean like either memorize that shit or have a cookbook at the very least.
She just listens to her ancestors. They talk to her, and she just spice away.
Well, I mean that shit don't come. You don't just listen to your ancestors if you didn't spend some time in the fucking kitchen getting smacked with a fucking shoe over your head because you did something wrong. You know what I mean? That's how you start connecting with the ancestors after you get a couple of those shoe smacks.
My ancestors be like, salt, too spicy.
Yeah. No, see, this is the biggest bullshit because I think in United States, white people don't season their food. The rest of the fucking world, white people season the shit out of their food.
UK is worse than us.
Yes, UK
but
is fucking worse.
They do have a lot. When it comes to white people food,
bro.
But
white
they
people
do have a lot of culture
shit.
there.
Yes. UK has a lot of culture.
Like
if not the
Indians,
Ethiopians, if not the Muslims that live in UK, their food would be complete
I heard
shit.
this. I think
Their food is shit, bro.
I talked about, actually, I heard the UK, the reason that the guy was arguing, he said, it was these two chefs, one American, one English. And the English guy goes, well, the top fucking restaurants in the world are all in the UK. And the man goes, well, what are they? He goes, French.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, it's
French.
true. I've been in UK. I have been to UK, and I've eaten. Their fucking favorite place is the fucking Nando's chicken. Worst rotisserie fucking chicken I've ever had. What's the worst rotisserie chicken you've ever had?
I don't know.
The worst rotisserie chicken.
Yes, worst rotisserie.
I mean, I've only had them from Publix and
like Sam's, right?
Listen, don't be fucking naming the
Sam's?
good places.
So
Right? Like, that's the only place I had it from.
Don't be naming good
Yeah,
places.
those back
I
and
think
fuck up
Sam's
the Walmart
chicken is
chicken.
not that good.
Sam's is not as good, but
Not
it
as
used to
good.
be, bro. Back in the
Back in the
day,
day, used to be
the
good.
Sam's
Now it's not
rotisserie chicken was
the
fire.
the rotisserie chicken from Sweet Bay.
Ooh, why would you get that?
Yeah,
Why?
Or,
no,
like,
Sweet
or
Bay-
if they told
no,
you
no,
they had
Sweet-
rotisserie chicken at
Now,
Big
if you
Lots,
said Save a Lot,
That
I would
was
say
good.
Dollar
Save a Lot,
Tree.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we could talk
Dollar
that.
Tree? Hey, yo, if they tell you they're selling you
They're
a
selling
chicken
you-
for $1,
You know, but if they're
Yeah.
selling you chicken in Dollar Tree, you know that's somebody's fucking side business, and they gonna make some badass chicken. I retract Dollar Tree, because Dollar Tree.
nah, fuck
I
no.
retract Dollar Tree
Nah,
because you know that's a side hustle that they're doing in a
Nope,
Dollar Tree.
Nope. Bro, my mom
Anyway.
would buy the bleach from Dollar Tree, and she would tell me, like, she'd rather use the bleach that I might get for the pool, like the chlorine for the pool, to clean the pavers in the backyard, because it's 10 times better than the bleach she gets from, like, Dollar Tree and
Anyway,
shit.
so Nando's chicken, that's like known for their delicious chicken in an entire fucking UK.
That shit's so
Worst
famous. Nando's,
fucking
Nando's.
chicken I've ever had in my life. Worst fucking chicken ever. Worst rotisserie chicken ever. Period. Point blank. Period.
Now, what's the best fried chicken you've had?
What's the best fried chicken I've ever had? So best fried chicken I've ever had is Nashville. I think it's called Clucking Hot or something like that.
This is my thing.
That's one of the best chicken
I'm gonna come
places
forward
I've
on
ever
me
had.
and chicken.
Fried chicken.
You will very rarely see me go out to eat, and that when I want to get something from an actual good place, I'm gonna eat chicken. Never. You'll never fucking see that. I always am gonna either choose pork, steak, even lamb, goat, anything else, right? Anything else on the fucking menu before I probably get chicken when I'm gonna eat out, and especially at a good place. Now, for example, at a random bullshit spot, I'll get a chicken sandwich or whatever if I can't find nothing else that I like. But like, I rarely get chicken, and so when you ask what's the best fried chicken you have, I don't have a place for you because I have yet to have a piece of fried chicken that astonishes me.
No, I like fried chicken. I like
Kissing
fried
Cousins
chicken.
has a pretty good fried chicken.
You just named the whitest place ever. All right.
I
don't
work
believe
there.
it. I don't believe it. So all
There's
I'm
a
saying is,
place down the street called Kissing Cousins.
you know
and
what I
worked
don't
at that
think
place.
is fried chicken? When it doesn't have breading on it. Because some people will make the fried chicken without the breading. That's just
fried
Oh
chicken.
wait, I gotta
Nah.
tell you. I gotta
Yes,
tell
it
you.
is, bro.
that's a cop out.
I think-
that's a cop
So
out.
if they give you chicken wings, that's not fried chicken wings?
If they give me chicken wings, unless they have breading on it, I don't want it.
What?
Yeah, I don't think of them as that good.
So have you guys been to?
Nah, you wildin', bro.
Have you
Yeah,
guys?
I fuck up with some fried skin. Like,
Yeah, man.
No, fried
Without
good,
breading.
good fried skin is a different story. But good luck finding some place that has like good fried skin that's actually
Dude,
crispy and juicy. At the same
Huey
time.
That is
Huey
very
Magoo's. Huey Magoo's. Very good chicken.
Bro, you're Cuban. Why are you naming all these white places?
I grew up in the U.S. What do you want me to name you?
I don't know. Be more
Do you
cultured,
want me
damn
to
it.
tell? Do you want me to tell you El Rápido in Cuba has fucking good chicken?
No, you just
Fuck
tell me,
no.
listen, this bodega that I know, you go in there, you get the chicken wings, you make you want to slap your mama. That's what I want to hear.
I mean, Orlando has some good food.
Too fucking bad, Jay. We're all uncultured
Exactly.
swine.
I like my Mickey D's.
No, so what I'm trying to say, I think eating good food is really good for your soul. You know what I mean? Like,
Bro,
you can't overdo
I'm
that.
sorry.
Then
I'm
you
gonna.
like,
So I think it's. I'm gonna. No, I won't say the name. Ready? Bro, I won't say the name. But the person will probably know what I'm talking about. But I won't say the name. One of my family members is very picky eater. You're probably gonna be able to.
yeah,
Guess
oh
who
yeah,
it
we
is,
already know who you're talking about.
right? And I was talking to them today, and they were actually like telling me that they regret that a lot.
Yes, I was there. I remember.
And that they're even forcing their children to eat stuff because they don't want their children to be like them.
Yeah.
And I almost thought, and I was like, damn. And then I asked the person, like, what? Just try stuff. Just constantly try anything. You have to just open your mind. Like, anything you see, try it. Figure out what you do and don't like, and just fucking go at it. And they were just kind of like, I can't. Like, even when I bring myself to try things, most of the things I try, I don't like. And it's like, I don't know what to tell you then.
It's because they didn't build those mental pathways. You know, it's all we are just neurons, and the neurons, the more they're traveled, the more we get behavior and habits. So like, just because they spent their life, they usually say after 25 is when it's hard to start setting new habits. But if you just don't do it, your brain's just like,
that person,
data's not there, bro.
That person is that age.
Now listen, all I have to say, now I'll fuck up a burger. I'll eat a burger, no problem. But burgers are not really for me. Like, you know how some people are like, oh my God, I love fucking burgers, this and that. I just, not for me.
I make a bomb ass fucking burger.
I've had your burger. It was delicious. But it's still not, like, I'd much rather eat a steak.
See, I have my days because I have the times when I'm craving like the bread with it and everything and the tomatoes and the whole thing together. And, you know, Dominicans, we put ketchup on everything, so...
Yeah, you got to. Ketchup on rice. Ketchup on everything, bro. Ketchup was the number one condiment back home in Lithuania and Armenia. Like, we put that shit on everything.
When I saw Tommy eat his hash browns dry, I was like, God damn. There's some ketchup on that motherfucker, bro.
But there's nothing better than some crispy-ass hash browns. When you put it in your mouth and it creates a fucking 7.0 earthquake underneath your feet.
But they have to be
like,
some
that's
good,
my thing.
They have to be some like bomb fucking hash browns seasoned really well for you to want to eat them just dry with salt.
Yes.
Like, I need to. It's IHOP, it's IHOP, bro.
For me,
ketchup on that bitch.
I mean, I usually go with the hot sauce for the
or something, right?
For me, you give me some fucking hash browns that are crispy. Like, that's what I like. I like the crispiness factor of it. Just like bread, fresh baked bread for me is delicious. But what I like to eat is the outside of the bread when it's still crispy and still warm. You know
like
what I mean?
The whole
Crunchy.
thing. I like the mixture. I like the crispy outside and the soft, doughy inside. Like the mixture of the both.
Yeah. And bro, as little kids, we used to live right next to the bread factory, and every fucking morning you would wake up and you get that fresh smell of fucking bread.
Yeah.
It's one of the best. Like, actually, the warm, delicious bread. The non-GMO, non-bullshit put inside bread. It's just like regular bread that will go bad literally if you don't eat it by half day.
Yeah.
The best bread.
Yeah. My dad, you know, he plays pokers on a lot of Saturdays. There's one of the guys, he brings over bread a lot of times from a local bakery to him over in Tampa. And it's clearly Cuban bread, but it's not like the long Cuban bread you see. It's made into smaller pieces, like for personal sandwiches kind of thing. Bro, that shit is so fucking good.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
But if you don't eat it in 2 days, it turns into a fucking brick.
Yeah. Yep. So back home, we had those. We had these tiny
it's water bread, bro. It's so fucking good.
You get them, you slice it up, and it's like a perfect amount for like a ham and cheese sandwich.
Yeah.
And if it's not enough, you get the second one.
Yeah.
Sometimes even the third one, depending how hungry you are.
So,
but that's like the perfect size, you know?
I grew up eating a lot. Like, for me, breakfast sometimes would be just bread and chocolate milk or coffee, right? And like dipping the bread into either one of those things. And so that bread right there is the best one to have with coffee or like chocolate milk in the morning or whatever it is.
You know what was
or
my
even late night snack, you know.
What is my new thing that I really enjoy eating is almohabanas from Colombia. Almohabanas, they use cheese and they use a lot of butter to make this, and they use yuca flour to make this. Basically, right? They mix the regular flour, and it's kind of like the Brazilian cheese bread, but the Colombian version of it. And that shit is like gooey, chewy, and then crispy on top.
No idea what you're talking about.
Delicious. It's delicious. You put fucking bunch of butter on anything, it's gonna go delicious.
What place is trash, Emily? What we fucking talking to?
Orlando.
Orlando what?
Orlando Latin Market.
Who said Orlando Latin Market?
Me.
About a what?
I thought it was good for $5, bro.
For what? What'd you
That's
get?
fire.
J Coke
Just
Zero,
food.
right? Yes.
Yes.
Just the food in general. I think it's good.
What?
It's
All right, bro.
Bro,
Ready?
it's a good home cooked meal for a reasonable price.
There's a bunch of
All right,
places
bro,
like
ready?
that in
Okay,
Tampa.
I'm
You have
sorry.
a bunch of places like that.
So ready?
Bro.
This is the thing. I'm gonna speak on my peoples here.
All right, go for it. I'm listening.
A lot of the things you see in Florida, these especially, fuck it, I'm not gonna say older only, older and newer spots. These Latino places are whitewashing their methods. Bro.
They are 100%. I co-sign on that shit.
Bro.
And I'm not even Latino.
Explain, like Tex-Mex or like what?
No.
My Latino Caribbean shit.
Like
my local bodega. The one right next to me, fucking in front of a block from Miggy's house, 3 blocks, 4 blocks, 5 blocks from here.
Again, elaborate why you think it's whitewash.
Bro, that Cuban sandwich is
not a Cuban sandwich, bro.
It's not a Cuban sandwich.
It's not, bro. Like a
Cuban sandwich isn't a Cuban sandwich.
And then their food, it's just like, I'm sorry, but like you want to use the excuse of like, this is why I say it's whitewash. This is why I say it's whitewash. Because you can go to a place, American place, and get decent food. But the moment you order catering from them, it might not be the best because it's a large quantity. They might not do the best job. By the time it
gets to you, it's not warm anymore. It's like
shit like that, right? And so the way these Latino places all do it is they fucking do it in like a catering style. When you come in, they just serve it from that. And when they do it like that, they're doing it in the white person way. And they're making it fucking less flavorful, less quality, everything. I'm sorry. I comment out my peoples on that.
See it.
And it's not everywhere. And it's not everywhere.
I'm a co-sign with him on that one.
But it happens a lot.
That happens to Armenian places as well. I've gone to Armenian places, and those places, the flavor is just not fucking there. It's just not. There's always something missing. Like they're there like 80 to 90% of the time, but that like 10 to 20% that pushes it, like makes it what it is just not fucking there. Like,
do you think they do it because the white people come in and they're like, ew,
no, bro,
and then post a fucking
no,
review
I
and
think
shit like
the
that?
same person, the white person does it because they want like money.
Yeah, they're just cutting corners.
They make the most money they can, and they
okay.
Come a little lazy.
They're sacrificing quality for profit.
There you go.
Yeah, because you gotta I'm gonna speak about Armenian food. You gotta understand, Armenian food is heavy on butter. Like in butter, is not cheap. Because like a lot of shit includes a lot of butter.
Can I have already? I'm gonna give a slight like what I think it could be. Back home in our countries, if you have a place like that and they fucked up on your order,
nobody gonna come.
You talking hella shit.
Yeah.
Sadly, right?
And nobody gonna come. You're gonna fail.
You're gonna reality the shit. You're gonna talk a lot of shit, and it's gonna get around the neighborhood, and you might lose a little bit of clout. Here, it's like, well, the white man around the corner is still gonna come.
Yes.
That.
And they're gonna eat it, and they're gonna fucking love it.
Yeah. That Joseph is still gonna come for his.
Call it authentic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. There you go. That Joseph is gonna come for his cortadito in the morning and his Cuban bread, and think he's getting his shit, which for him he is, and good to him. But for what I know to be my authentic Latino food, you guys are cutting it short.
Yes. And like,
majority, not all of them.
And
I'm not saying everything at the place next to us is like that. Majority of the shit isn't.
I was just gonna ask you. So you think Orlando's whole entire menu is just dog shit?
No. That's not what I'm saying. Hey, that's what I'm gonna call back. Ready? What I've had from there, I do not enjoy like I enjoy a home cooked meal. And what I'm paying for, I feel like I should be getting a home cooked meal from a Latin place.
Fair.
No, I know.
Ready? That Cuban sandwich is way too expensive for what it is, bro.
You get two of them. I think it's plenty.
No, it's not. It's not the size. It's the quality, bro.
So
quality.
I know what he's talking about.
It may not be restaurant quality sandwich, but I think it's fine. I think it's not even. I enjoy it.
It's not even. This is the thing. It's not even deli quality sandwich. That's my problem.
No, I know what he's saying because. Like, if you talk about TC, right?
Restaurant.
Town and Country.
Deli quality sandwich.
Town and Country.
Orlando, tienes tremendo mierda de pan.
No, that's true. That's the bread. The bread is what fucks the majority of the sandwich up. But the rest of it, too.
So, TC, Town and Country, has a bunch of Latin places.
I'm going to have to go get one and make sure my opinion's still...
TC has a bunch of Latin places where you can go and get food, right?
TC,
Town and Country.
Okay.
Has a bunch of Latin places.
Yeah.
They can go get food.
it's more saturated and you have more places that
yes,
are
and then what I notice is every time I'm around that way, I try to scoop by, get some Latin food, right? The places that are usually busy, they're doing well, their food is good. The places that are empty, nobody's there, they got that half-ass food. And it's just like there's
actually, I have an opinion on that because I don't necessarily think that's correct. For example, Emily's, where she used to work, the food is really good. I'm not sure exactly why. He went from being open every day of the week to now I think he's only open for Thursday to Saturday or something like that. But the food is amazing. One of the best Cubans I personally had.
Yes,
really
I've had it. It's good. Yeah. It's really good.
I don't know why. I'm not sure what's going on.
I can tell you why. Because I like that Cuban. But I'm not going to get up and drive all the fuck there to get a Cuban. Like, see, this is what I wouldn't do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are on the same wavelength. So whatever community is around them that's buying the food, they're the same way. They'll come in and buy the Cuban, but they're not going to go there 2-3 times a week to buy the Cuban. Majority, at least, is not going to do that.
It was weird. When Emily was working there, they seemed to be pretty busy. And there was, like, constant customers, the same people going over and over and over.
But what I'm trying to say is just kind of like, you know, I don't want to talk too much about this, like, you know, reveal secrets and whatever. But, you know, when you're opening a gym and things like that or places, they're saying, okay, what is the neighborhood like? Because they want these customers to continuously return to your place, right? Like, opening a good shop in a shit area will ensure that you're not going to be busy. But you put that shop with that good food in an area that's busy with traffic, people are going to buy it. For example, you have fucking Fortunatos, the worst fucking pizza in downtown St. Pete. But it's literally one of the only pizza places downtown St. Pete. And guess what people are doing when they're fucking drunk? They're eating that goddamn pizza. That pizza place is always busy, even though they don't have a good pizza.
Are you talking about the one right next to Ruby's Elixir?
Yeah, that's the one we walked past. You know, this place is shit.
Yeah, that one or
Dude,
the one that's below.
That is hilarious. Just call me a fat ass, but I think that pizza's fire.
That pizza's shit, bro. You want some good pizza?
If I'm just looking for food and that's there, oh
that's my point.
God.
That's exactly my point. With any type of business like that, it's location, location, location. You can literally serve shit. As long as you have good location, it's cheap and it's accessible, people will get it. Now, if it's good food in good location, that's it. You're becoming a millionaire. That place will never stop being busy. Like, for example, Franklin's in Austin, Texas. Bro, the place opens at 9, 10 o'clock. There's already a line outside of this barbecue place, 7 in the fucking morning. People come in and they make a day out of it. It's like a tailgate party. They bring fucking lawn chairs, they sit down, and they wait for this barbecue to come out. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
Jay,
this is what I'm talking
Jay,
about.
if you're willing to try out Kissing Cousins, which you didn't like the name of, that's the restaurant I used to work out. Good stuff. There's literally a
Where's
line,
it
too. Right in front of Animal House on 34th.
Fine. I'll give it a try.
It's good.
I thought they closed down, Bucko.
I'll go to
No. So what happened there
I'll
was...
go to a white man's place. Fine.
Hey, bro, it's on 34th Street. I guess it's close to the south, man.
The old owner sold the place to
now you just lost me. You
the manager.
told me that.
So, can you say that you have seen that, Alex, or no? With places, or no? Like, for example, comparing, like, because you know you've been with your wife for a long time, so you've been around a black family. Do you see that, like, with your southern places over there in Tennessee at all, or no? Like, they're kind of like they're cutting the ways.
Tennessee takes pride in their barbecue, bro. Even the white people try to make it
The food is too
good.
prideful there.
They'll shut them down.
Like,
It
really depends on where you go. You have the very heavily gentrified areas that do lean towards that whitewashing of everything because they know that's what sells. But you still have your little pockets of like that authentic shit.
Yeah,
you
we still have that here. Still have that here.
Yeah. No, and I also think
and I still think it's an authentic market and an authentic deli in the sense that you go there and you can get your meats and your like authentic Latino products and maybe just the food.
So what I'm saying is, if I go to a place and I know there's motherfucker been there for 40 years and that kitchen been cooking, I know it's a good place. Because you cannot fuck up making 40 years of food the wrong way. You just can't. You know what I mean? Like, after a while, that becomes a second nature. You don't even fucking think about it. You just make it good. You know, so...
It's all about that recipe book, man.
Again...
Kissing Cousins use that recipe book. I'm telling you, bro. That's just fire.
All right. Again.
Look, even Emily was saying, like, believe me, my opinion is still current about, like, to believe her, my opinion is still current about 30th Ave on their food. and Abuela's Meat Market, the place that opened up on 34th Street, is a little better, but still not like up to par. Like they're doing the same.
You know
thing,
who had
basically,
pretty good Cuban sandwiches that I liked a lot, especially their Cuban meatloaf was pretty good. It's right off of 16th. It's right under the overpass. That shop I think is still there. They make pork and it's a Cuban place.
Wait,
talking about
no. Wait, what?
Smiley's?
It's right under the overpass. Right under the overpass.
You're not talking about Bodega.
It's on 16th Street on the north side, going towards
towards
downtown. It's right on the highway overpass.
So it's not Bodega because that place sucks.
No, Bodega sucks. The one that has a speakeasy in the back,
I think
downtown. No, that place don't.
Yeah,
got
it's
good
right
food,
next
bro.
to the gay club.
Yeah, that place. How do you know there's a gay club?
Is it speakeasy if they legally sell alcohol?
Well, I mean, it's the whole door.
It's
and
just like
knock
that
and
whole
walk in.
moonshine thing.
Yeah.
The theme.
Like legal
I know, right?
moonshine is
Like, for
so
example,
stupid.
The whole thing when you go to Tennessee and you see all the old smoky shit, like Smoky's moonshine, and when you're there as a tourist, you're like, isn't the whole premise around moonshine about the shit being illegal?
Illegal. Yep.
What you mean? There's a whole store full of moonshine right here in the middle of fucking Gatlinburg, motherfucker.
Well, no, but I know there's some that went the legal route and they still have their recipe and they're making good moonshine. It's just they're not very known because Old Smoky's fucking got the monopoly on a fucking area. You know, they got the largest amount of money. Yeah,
they took the same amount of time, same time frame that marijuana was coming legalized across the country and being decriminalized. So they wanted to structure their alcohol on top of something that was seemingly illegal, but it's just really strong whiskey.
Was that the latest state that approved marijuana for recreational use? Because I heard that there was another state that approved it.
Really?
Yeah.
What state? What state?
I think it was.
What state went woke?
Yeah.
Maybe Indiana.
That's a good way to put it.
Illinois.
I got you. Give me 1 second.
Now Illinois has got so many issues, man. Fucking Illinois, man. Illinois, like Chicago, used to be such a great fucking city. They ran that shit to the fucking ground.
It was always mob controlled.
Yeah, but then the mob that was there, they made sure that there's no fuckery going on with young people. Young people were not fucking shooting and killing each other with the amounts that they are doing right now.
Minnesota, yeah.
Yeah, Minnesota becomes the 23rd state to legalize it.
Yeah,
for
so
recreational use,
recreationally,
and they were also trying to expunge
which I
records
think,
of old people who
now
were
see,
already...
I'm on the fence
Which
with this
is the
one.
best part.
Yes.
Yeah, I do agree for those people, but I'm on a fence with that. So if you commit a crime that was a crime to begin with, and you got hit during that time, I'm kind of on a fence whether this should be, because you kind of have to follow the rules.
I get what you're saying.
I look at it as alcohol.
So this
But
is my
you also
thing.
have people sitting in jail for 15 years for a plant when they're only sitting in there for 15 years because they're black.
Well, but see, those were the rules too. So if you break the rules, I mean,
because the rules were because you were black. Nah, we gotta.
But if we change the rules, you should still be punished for the rules that you.
Hey,
that's different.
Just a quick question.
I
different
think you
too,
should,
because
because you should know not to fuck with the rules if those are the rules.
But the whole point of also the some things is people challenge that.
Hey, I just want to question the chat real quick.
Right? So for example, let's talk. We're talking about weed. What's up, brother?
Let me just question the chat real quick because we did drop some frames a little bit ago. I want to make sure the stream is good.
I'm looking
Let us
at
know
it
in the
here
chat.
through YouTube. We're good right now, brother.
Okay, perfect.
It's a little. I watched my face.
It chopped for just a few seconds, but then it's back right now.
Everybody get off the fucking Wi-Fi outside.
No, I think
we're on
we'll be straight.
Wi-Fi. That might be one of the things.
That could probably be why. Yeah,
wanna plug it
dropped
in?
a bit, but no, it's nothing crazy. We're good. We're good right now.
Yeah, we're gonna be done in about half an hour anyway.
So my thing is like, if there are rules and then the rules change, that's fine. But if there are rules while you knowingly doing something that's illegal and you get caught doing that, I mean, those are consequences.
So let me
right?
ask you this, ready? It's just kind of like how you talked about with alcohol. But let's go back to how we were talking about with weed.
Yeah.
Right? So if somebody had possession of marijuana and then, majority of the time people are just kind of like, go.
I get it. I get it.
Right? And then you have the case because possession of marijuana can still be like you still go to prison.
I get it. I get it. I get that.
And then a lot of times that shit is abused.
Yes, I get that.
Right?
I get that.
And then it becomes illegal. Then it becomes legal altogether. What you did altogether becomes legal.
I get that.
Don't you think things should be at least revised?
I get that. I get that. But what I'm trying to say, if you know there are those rules, why would you? It's kind of one of those things.
I get what you're saying.
Limit.
I get what you're saying. It's like going to the Brittany Griner thing, like when she was in Russia. Like you're not supposed to have that.
We get. Why do you do it?
We get that you should be able to have CBD, but you're in Russia that's not allowed, right? I get it. What you're saying. You shouldn't have been doing that at that time. Take the punishment given at the time and move on. But you have to take into consideration that the system isn't perfect.
Well, no, I get that the system isn't perfect, but whatever the imperfect system you have, that's the system that you have. And if right now this imperfect system is commending that, then you should follow the rules until the rules change. Actively work on changing these rules, but don't fucking break them.
If when weed becomes legal, let's say for some reason in Florida they go like other states, right? You have an ounce with you, right? Yeah. And then if you have anything more than that, they can get you for intent to sell or whatever the case may be, situational, right? I get if right now you're somebody that is a fucking drug dealer and you're carrying freaking half a pound on you and they catch you, no, don't fucking revise his shit at the end of the day because he's still fucking dealing drugs illegally.
Well,
maybe that gets into federal levels too.
Let me say it this way. So if you know that in Florida you can have a weapon and no problem. Not right now. You don't even need a permit to carry.
Not right now. At the end of this month.
Yeah. Well,
actually 1 month from now because we are the first.
You don't need a permit to carry. But you know that let's say in New York you can't do that. But you want to have your weapon with you when you're going from Florida to New York in your own car, right? You kind of have to see all those states across that you're going to come across. What rules do they have?
Yep. Yeah.
And you have to abide by the rules of those states, even though your Florida is allowing you to do that.
So there are certain states that will allow you, for example, if you have your permit in Florida, to use it in other states, but you have to look at which states those are.
Reciprocation law,
and like you said,
it's a lot of states.
Yeah, it's a lot of
you
states.
You can actually apply to Florida to get a Florida permit from another state.
Yes.
How's that going to work? How's that going to work now that there's permitless carry?
You gotta abide by the state that you're gonna go in.
But so like, is that all that gonna be scratched completely? For example, like someone like you guys that have your permit carry, or you guys will be able to go into other states and still carry, or now that it's permitless carry in Florida, your thing is scratched.
Well, I have the permit now, so whatever state is reciprocates with Florida, I can use that license if they have a license in that state and be okay. Like it's just like me going to Texas right now; they're not gonna give a shit if I'm open carrying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is it depends on the state. So when those permits go out the window, you don't have to renew them. Now when I go to a specific state, I need to look up, hey, what rules
That's
do
what
they
I'm saying.
have and how I should carry
once the permits in Florida become obsolete in Florida, those Florida permits will become obsolete everywhere else as well.
Correct.
Right?
I'm assuming.
I would assume so as well.
I'm assuming that, or they can just continue saying, okay, well, we're just gonna continue honor it because of Florida.
Until it expires, maybe, or whatever.
Or just.
Are they still gonna have the classes to get permits to carry? How is that gonna work?
I'm sure you're still gonna have safety classes.
I would
just
hope
like
so.
You have like motorcycle safety classes.
But are they still gonna give the same certification? I'm still out as well.
Probably not. It's probably gonna be like a
watered down version of it
certificate or something like that. Like
so it's not gonna be
teaching you
anywhere.
gun safety or something. Yeah.
If
Which
it's
I
not
think
by the state, it's not gonna be worth shit anywhere.
Education should be more if you want to carry a weapon. I think it should be more. But
if you just want to own a weapon, not even carry a weapon,
I know. If you just want to fucking go and buy one, there should be such a longer process of what it is.
Mm-hmm. Well, not going back to like those rules and regulations. What I'm trying to say, if you understand your rules and you also know that you're being targeted as a community, now why would you put yourself like if I know in New York they're gonna give me a hard time for my weapon? Why would I put myself in that situation and just so I can say I can? That makes no sense to me. You know what I mean? If those are the rules, you have two options. Don't do it or move out. But then you come in and say, well, you changed the law, change this too. That's kind of like, well, you did break the rule when the rule was in place. So this is what but I'm also understanding I'm being
But New York's
empathetic.
also, it's a good example because when you're talking about Manhattan, when you're talking about the island, yes, very strict gun laws.
Yes.
That makes me
Because
wonder.
they're trying to keep that people that in that small little thing from killing each other.
Yes.
But mainland New York, they have guns.
Yes. Yes, they
They
do.
have guns all over the place.
I agree. But what I'm trying to say is like, you know, I am also empathetic to the idea that like, yeah, bro, like you're in there for 15 fucking years for some weed. You know what I mean? I get that. But then again, if you, I don't know, if you drunk drive, you're going to have that shit on your record for 70 fucking years. You know what I mean? Even if you don't kill anyone and things like that, which I don't condone. Don't drink and drive. That's the dumbest thing you can possibly fucking do. But if you do that, again, you're going to be in trouble, right? Like, so I think...
Well, that's also it's not really a good comparison because you're talking about having a drug use for yourself compared to being intoxicated and operating machinery.
Well, yeah, but then you can also get high and operate machinery as well. These two things are not...
What are Georgia laws right now for guns? Can you carry?
I think Georgia's pretty fucking open, bro. If anything, I think Georgia and Alabama. I haven't looked at it, but Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, I know those southern states, they're going to be pretty pro. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you can go wrong with Texas. Keep that shit.
I'm kind of just wondering whether I'm not allowed, like, if I'm not allowed to carry, whether when I go through, like, when I go in Tennessee and I drive
Tennessee's open carry.
I know, but I'm saying because I got to drive through Georgia.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what do I got to make sure to do?
Well, Georgia is a southern state, so if anything, look at the rules. But I would say it's pretty. Yeah, you're not gonna have issues with Georgia. And then if you're worried about it too much, put it under 2 locks. Put it under a lock.
April
put it in your glove compartment and lock it.
2022, governor passed a law making it legal to make most residents be able to concealed carry without a license.
There you go. So yeah, so Georgia.
But that's for residents, so I'd probably still put it away.
Yeah,
that is for Georgia residents.
Yeah, just put it under 2 locks. Make sure it's not loaded.
Yeah.
Clip is out. Put it under 2 locks, and you're good to go.
But then once I get to Tennessee, I'm allowed to permanently carry, aren't I? Even though I'm not from the state.
I mean,
you can open carry. Nobody's gonna question you.
No, open. You can't open carry.
Yes, you can.
No, it's permanently concealed, right? In Tennessee.
No, it's open, bro. Carry. I've seen people carry openly in the stores.
You can have a pistol on your fucking hip. Yeah.
In Tennessee, it's open.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm expecting pictures. I hope you understand that.
Jay wants to see me in every picture printing now.
Printing? What are you talking about printing? I want to see it out.
Oh, he wants to. You know what I'm gonna get so Jay can see? I'm gonna make sure I wear one of those like James Bond vest holsters.
Yeah.
Have it on my.
That's old school.
Have it on my rib cage.
Make sure it's brown, like that brown color too. You know, it's got fucking sweat stains on it and shit. But yeah, but I don't know, man. Like we're talking about the conspiracy and anything. So let's talk about the ultimate fucking conspiracy. Aliens.
Yeah, well, this is the good one. I love this one.
Aliens. Do you think government knows this, that we have aliens? They've caught them, they've seen them, but they cannot bring it up because we have religion that's super heavy in the country. Because that would literally
Do you think it's religion? Do you agree with that, Alex, that it's religion?
I would agree. I would agree that the massive religion of extraterrestrial will destroy because, you know, in most of their minds, that creator made us and only us.
Yeah.
Even though he made the universe, he made us and only us.
Okay.
That would literally shake the fundamental...
A lot of Orthodox Christians and
fundamental
now Protestants are slowly starting to get away from that.
For me, it kind of just clicked. That actually is more than likely legit.
Because think about it. These are the voters that usually vote, conservative voters.
Now, your big metropolitan areas won't care, right? Because they're predominantly atheist or agnostic.
It's the
but it's that big part in the middle.
Yeah. That decides votes, bro.
And the thing is, too, ready?
You tell someone that's like shake their whole
belief. What's up, baby? You go into it, right? And you start talking about what it means if that's all true. They have technology that is way, way, way beyond our reach, right? To be going anywhere that we can't see, clearly that they have civilization and clearly have something. That right there alone kind of just spooks you.
Well, that, and then if you're, let's say, if you're a government organization that knows this, and or private that knows this, and you get to work on this technology and keep it for yourself, why would you fucking put it out in the world? Why would you put it out in the world if it gives you the upper hand?
I feel like if something's so advanced to where it can interplanetary and or intergalactic travel, we aren't catching it. It's working with us.
Yes.
And we're just keeping it secret.
Yes. Oh well, that could be true, or it could be just like an accident that happened.
I mean, even if an accident happens, you still can just zip over in your other spacecraft, and you have God knows what kind of technology. Maybe some Men in Black shit to fucking just wipe people's minds.
Oh, it could be that the civilization is not as advanced as other ones, right? That are able to zip over. It could be just that they're not just that advanced and they can't zip over, but they can get here, but they can't just zip over.
Zipping over is the advanced part. Like, we can't do that. We can't interplanetary go be able to sustain and come back.
No, I know what you're saying, but what I'm saying is, if you take and say, okay, well, there's a being out there that's smarter than us, then by default, there's going to be another being that's smarter than that being, and another one that's smarter than the other being, right? If you go that route, that chain. So what if it's like the first one in a chain that you got in an accident, you caught, and they're not as advanced as the ones that are more advanced, that are able to do that, like, appear where it need to appear, take that shit away, and then nobody knows about it. What if they're just like, well, shit, accident happened, now we can't get there, so we're just gonna have to leave it at that.
I can feel that. I can definitely feel that. But I'm feeling like those higher beings would study us, feel this is how we control them, and just be like, here's a little bit of technology, keep us secret, and we'll keep you in power.
No, I don't know.
Because just like AI is taught manipulation through us.
Yeah, but I think those higher beings are, they're just not going to get involved. There's no point because they don't have any benefit from us. Like, why would they get involved with us? They would observe us as an experiment, but they would not really, like, because we don't have anything to offer to them. We pump out
so much fossil fuels, maybe they need it. Maybe some of the reserves has been shipped out of the planet.
No, I think that the whole fossil fuel thing, I think that's a myth. Because if they're that smart, they're way beyond fossil fuels, I think. Like, they're doing something completely different. Like, if we're talking about teleportation from point A to point B without a problem, do you really need fossil fuels?
But we also live in a finite world, so we have to live within our parameters, right? And if we live within our parameters, we got to live off resources.
Yes, we do. But, just like in a Bronze Age and Gold Age, when we're running out of gold, then we decided to create paper. We still have gold around, but nobody trades with gold because you just wouldn't have enough gold in the world for everyone to have a piece to pay for shit. So...
I mean, we used to trade in a lot more than gold. We used to trade in nickel and silver and a lot of things, and they just kept getting knocked off one by one through classism.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I just think like those ones that are that are smarter. I would like to like sit in a room while they talk. I just don't want to talk. I want to be a fly on a wall while they're like having their conversations in their language. But
I got a conspiracy.
What is it?
9/11.
Them boys
was
did
it an inside job?
Them boys did it. Them boys did it.
We them boys.
Yep. Them boys did it. I highly believe that them boys did it. It wasn't.
It's come out that Osama was an asset, was he not?
Yes. Osama was an asset in 70s against Russia.
Yeah.
And then Osama got greedy because he made some money, and they said, fuck you. And they said, oh, let me show you how cookie crumbles, my friend.
Can we sound clip that anyway? Fuck you. I need that right there.
Well, that's what Osama did. Same thing with fucking, what's his name? Saddam. Saddam was the same way. He said, beep, beep, poo, poo. And then we said, beep, beep, poo, poo.
And, I mean, you look who gained from that, right?
Them boys, bro.
Everyone in power. Everyone in power. Bush gained from it. Fucking Dick Cheney gained from it.
Listen, we're not trying to get canceled of YouTube. It's them
But
boys.
it was them boys.
It was them boys.
Oh, shit.
It had to be them boys, bro.
Hey, I don't use that because that's a trigger word for anti-Semitic shit. So you know.
You don't go out there and fucking call me out like that.
I mean, sorry, I gotta be that kind of dude.
Hey, listen. Hey, it has nothing to do with their religious beliefs. It just so happens that some of them, and majority
Once
of
again,
them are like
anti-Semitic shit.
that. No, I mean, majority of them are there.
It's very small. They're 0.02 point of the general population.
No. I'm talking about the. I'm talking about the. That circle. I'm not talking about majority. I'm talking about the circle.
The Illuminati.
Nah, not the Illuminati. I don't think such thing as Illuminati or any of those organizations exist, right? Like, I think there's a conglomerate of people that know each other that spin within the same circles, and then the same people spin in another circle. Whether you call this Illuminati, another one call it something else. I don't think they have names for it. You know, I just think they're just part of those.
I think
many
Whitney
circles.
Webb was right when she said they're just factions.
Factions.
They're just
That's it. There you go.
factions.
That's the word. Just factions. Exactly what it is. And these factions, they just cross paths. You know, because you need shit get done.
I feel like the closest thing that you can get to the Illuminati is the Freemasons.
I think Freemasons is just a fucking. It's just. I think it's just a club.
I'm
for
uncultured.
dudes.
I'm uncultured swine. Educate me.
Freemasons.
So
Go ahead,
Freemasons is I'm not
Alex,
super versed in the subject per se, but basically presidents join it, people of a lot of power join it.
It's a fraternity.
Yeah, it's a
It's a
fraternity.
fraternity.
Yeah, it's
Alex, go for
fraternity.
it.
That's what
Alex,
it
go
is.
for it.
It's a
I saw the
fraternity.
grin on your face.
So Freemasons were a fraternal group back long before when you actually needed people to build shit. So the Masonries came together and they had their own little secret group
Yes.
that built up the reputation of the Masons so that not only would they get more money, they would also, get more political power and stuff because of their secrecy.
Yep.
And it's just kind of evolved from there.
And-
Like, you don't have to be a Mason anymore to be in the Masonic order. And there's different factions of the Masonic order now too. But they do also focus on like schooling and stuff like that. Like they're not like
Ronald
some crazy
McDonald
like
House is big on that. You know.
Yeah.
They're big on
Yeah,
Ronald
they're not
McDonald.
some, like,
charity.
cult like thing, like robes and shit. They might have robes. I don't know.
They do,
I've never
they
been
do.
in a temple.
So, but
No pointy white hats, nothing like that. No.
I mean, in some states, definitely pointy white hats, but
But the point is, back in the day, it was an organization for you to step in because it was who's who of the influential world. You could get. It was basically connections that you would acquire, right? So that's what the Masons were, and now it's open to everyone because now they're like, okay, well, we can have this freemium service that they can pay for to say that they're part of it, but they're really not. The majority of the bottom of the totem pole, they're all just going around doing charitable work and this and that. They kind of communicate with each other, maybe do some business deals, but it's not on that higher level, right? Like
they're like Shriners.
Shriners is another
So-
one, yeah.
Going back to our original conspiracy on aliens, we talked about whether we think the U.S. knows.
Yes.
100%, right? If we believe aliens
Oh,
are
yeah.
true, they're the ones covering it up.
Yes.
Why we don't know. The rest of the world, how do you think that goes with other governments when the U.S. comes in? To, for example, like the whole thing with Brazil, that story we talked about 2 podcasts ago. You know what? We should make that a thing where we all watch that doc of Jamie Foxx, whatever his name was. James Fox.
Share it.
Yeah. I think actually Alex put it in the thing, didn't you? You put it in the mod chat, or you put
I
it in
put where you can watch it,
Yeah.
but not like a link to where you could actually watch it. Just
Got
like,
you. We'll find the link.
So the thing is, United
What do you
States.
think? Yeah, why do you think they oversee other countries and communicate
United
about
States
that?
steps in and says, "Listen, my friend,
My
friend,
friend.
my friend, you like your Bugatti, you like the color of your Bugatti. Would you like to keep it, and not be in front of a world tribunal for some shit that you've done in the past? And I know you've done it. Yes. Okay, then we're taking over this. That's how it is.
Nah, that's too much. It's way so simple. It's hey, you remember that military base we have?
Yeah.
Police can pull out if we want, so we're gonna go take over this site.
Yep. It's super easy, bro. When you are world police, you can do whatever the fuck you want, and nobody can say anything. But
Like
Lay
no
that
one
big
got
dick on the
prosecuted for the Iraq War, even though there was so many war crimes. But now Putin is getting prosecuted for war crimes, doing the same thing that American soldiers did in the Iraq War.
but wait a minute. I much rather live in United States than in Russia. All I'm saying.
I mean, comparable. Yeah, I agree with you.
We cannot say that United States is doing the same thing as Russia. Come on, that's just like not
we
patriotic
were
at
doing
all. We're
war
not.
crimes,
We're
massive
not.
war crimes.
We are.
That's actually the most patriotic because when you call out the country for its faults, that forces us to become better.
Yeah, but that's remember the bucket is fucking rotten. It just doesn't. So what I'm saying.
So call it out for what it is, though.
No, what I'm saying is how much because Putin, you can't compare United States to
Exactly.
Putin. He's a dictator that kills people. He's a manslaughterer. Like for no fucking reason.
And we were killing how many civilians a day? How many Iraqi civilians?
Listen, you still
across
cannot compare.
Afghanistan?
You still cannot compare Putin to United States. You just can't. You
Why?
can't. Because he's a dictator. He's literally.
I mean, I agree with you. He's a tyrant. He's a literal tyrant. He's gone through the playbook. He's collected his power. He's done everything, but he's hit the wall, and that wall always gets hit with war, and it happens all around the world. Mufansu from Africa now lives in Saudi Arabia in exile because he tried war, got milliwapped immediately, and then had to run.
Yes.
Like, it's just the tyrant playbook. There's actually a really good documentary called How to Be a Tyrant that goes through and explains how, even from Hitler on, how they just basically do the same shit.
Now, I can give
Except for Kim Jong-un and Kim Jong-il. They made themselves into gods.
No, I can give it to you that United States might be the bully of the world and a world police. I give it to you. But to go as far and say we're doing the same thing as Russia, not really, man. Like, those guys are on another fucking psychotic level. Like, you can't compare them.
So,
like, I much rather
killing civilians, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've made a law through War Tribune that the Geneva Convention, killing civilians, that's against that.
Yes.
We killed civilians.
Yes.
They killed civilians.
Yes.
So we can compare that.
No.
Those are both war crimes.
No, because when we do end up killing civilians that accidentally end up being there, we do go in there and we try to rebuild some of that country.
Accidentally end up being there is very vague in the sense that they know the civilians are there but don't care because they need to get the person that's there.
Yes, but then we also go back and rebuild and we pay for it, even though not all of that money goes to them.
Doesn't make it okay.
It doesn't.
No.
It doesn't, but it's
we left a lot of those states in worse states than they were with the Taliban that they have now.
Yeah.
Because we were invading forces and we didn't care.
Listen, I would disagree with that. I just don't think that's the case. I don't think we left it in a worse state. I mean, how are you going to leave something in a worse state where they already don't have a state? You know,
because we created a power vacuum.
Nah, I don't.
We created ISIS.
I don't agree with that. See, like to the day I die, I'm going to be always like pro United States. I'm sorry, I'm just going to be. Like I would
get
never
it.
Say,
you drank the Kool-Aid, bro.
It's not the Kool-Aid.
And coming from something that is so much worse, you have to believe in something so much better. But we also have to wipe that shit off our eyes and see the reality that now that we're here, we need to improve what this is.
I get that, but at the same time, I'm telling you, if I were to trade places, I would live in this country no matter what. No matter what. Now, if I had a ton of money, I would probably do something else so I don't have to be part of the rat race. but I would still want to be in the United States.
And that's fine. But that doesn't stop you from having to improve the United States.
Well, no, nobody's saying you shouldn't improve it. All I'm saying is that we can't compare United States to Russia.
But when you have language like we can't compare Putin's war crimes to our war crimes, that is invalidating our war crimes and not actually making them a problem that we should fix.
Yeah, but that's a totally different question. That's completely different question. That's for United States to decide and say within United States, judging United States by United States. It has nothing to do with Russia. That's a completely different subject, though.
So, thank you everybody who came into the chat today.
Again, as usual, good conversations. You got to see the Contrarian Jay come out as usual, and that's a promise.
Thank you for Alex for coming tonight. You guys.
Anytime.
Have a great one. We'll see you guys on Tuesday. Or actually, we'll be going
Tuesday.
live. Are we gonna do it this weekend or no?
This weekend? No, we can't. I mean,
you're gonna be gone. Never mind.
I'll be
No, we'll be live Tuesday. We'll see you guys then.
You can guys still go live. I mean, it doesn't matter.
It's fine. We'll wait for you. We'll wait for you.
Somebody can fill in for me. See if Alex wants to fill in for me. My buddy Alex.
Put Miggy on Omegle.
Don't pull out your penis, bro. That's gross.
Let's see that Riz, Miggy.
Oh shit.
Let's see if it's a thing. All right. Thank you guys for coming. You guys.